Loud sticking. And we are now live! Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Casketking Crew Podcast! Woo!
Oh yeah.
Hey,
That's them again.
It's
Oh
time once
yeah.
again for the Casketking Crew Podcast! Woo!
Coming at you live from my bathtub.
Nice.
Yeah. There's nothing like a good bubble bath. I don't care who you are. So relaxing.
If you're allergic to the chemicals in the bubble bath.
Yeah, in which case, I guess it's still nothing like it because it's terrible.
My Floyd is Pink 79 is here. He says, "What's up, Casket? Happy Saturday, and happy Saturday to you too."
Wow, I'm surprised. My Floyd is Pink 79 beat Jiggle Jazz.
Wowzers. Yeah, so it's another Cask Crew podcast. Hopefully, we'll have other members popping in. Historian, wherever you are out there in the universe, we're thinking of you
Yes.
and others.
Joker, why do you have a boner at Arby's?
I can't help it, Batman! They have the meats!
That is true. It's an even better response than the one I had written down.
What you have written down?
Because they have the meats, Batman.
That's what I said.
No, you said even better. The way you said it was better. More authentic.
So how's everyone's week been this week?
My Floor is Pink says all the PSN servers are down right now.
Yeah, no PlayStation. They have they announced? Have they said anything publicly yet?
Nah. As far as I know, they've been down the last couple days.
Yeah.
Because I remember somebody mentioning it the other day during the podcast or the live stream.
Do you think it's a hack, or what do you think's going on?
Either they're working on something or it's a hack. It's either or.
Yeah, I just think it's weird that they've not really spoken publicly about what's going on. It's like they don't even want to acknowledge it.
To be fair, would you want to acknowledge your fuck ups?
No. No.
Especially if you're like a big company.
Well, I was going to say, I'm not a big company, so I don't have to worry about customer retention.
It's not the customers you have to worry about, it's the shareholders.
True. So who's laughing now, PlayStation users, says Xbox guy.
That's what I was
I'm a
thinking.
PC guy, so.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck.
Bless you.
Wow, that was a powerful sneeze.
Oh, fuck, yeah. That was a powerful sneeze.
Sometimes a sneeze can feel good.
Not really.
To each your own.
I once sneezed out my equilibrium. It scared the shit out of me.
Do you know what the average sneeze can travel at? Casket?
What's that?
Like 50 miles an hour or some shit?
Yeah. Coughs travel around 50 miles per hour, can travel around 50 miles per hour, but sneeze can travel around. Or maybe that's not fully true, like 35 to 40.
That's still pretty quick. You're not going to outrun that shit. So, Casket, you kind of want to talk about what's been going on behind the scenes?
No, not until it's done.
Okay, that's fair. But just to give a what do they call it? A hook. It's not a hint, it's a hook.
A hook?
Yeah. Something major in the Casket verse. Bum, bum, bum.
Yes, there is something major going on, but I can't talk about it right now.
Yep, there's your hook.
Major. Houston, we have a problem.
Apparently they found that plane in Alaska.
Yeah, they're all
what
dead.
Plane?
Some plane went missing in Alaska, and I guess they found it. It crashed.
Haven't been paying
It's
attention to the news.
it was not a commercial plane. It was holding like 10 people.
My Florida's Pink says, what's the deal with planes lately? They've been crashing a whole lot.
Yeah. Yeah, they has. Let's play a game. How much do eggs cost where you live?
Like $8.
For a 12-pack?
Yep.
Jesus Christ. That is ridiculous expensive.
Yep. And that's just the last time I checked.
Good Lord. I know eggs like here where I'm at. Yeah. Last time I went to the store, there was like no eggs. And the time before that, there was a couple of cartons. And I picked up the last that they had. It's like a straight up egg shortage.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing these old people, these fucking boomers, with carts full of eggs, like hoarding them like the toilet paper.
The store.
$7.50 in Lancaster, PA.
Ooh, damn. For 12 pack, seven fucking. See, I like to buy the 60 count eggs, like that are in the big boxes.
Costco?
And last time I bought a 60 count, it was about $32.
Did you get it at Costco?
No, it was at Walmart.
Oh, I love Costco eggs.
Yeah, the closest Costco to me is about an hour and a half.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, a little too far for an egg run.
Egg boy, egg boy.
Oh man.
Oh god, don't vomit. Don't vomit. Don't vomit. Oh
Hold
god.
on. Why do you feel the urge to vomit? Have you been sick?
No, I've just been really nervous.
Oh, the thing behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Okay. The hook has been cemented. Now you have to watch because in the next like 6 weeks, major things. Can't
Six
say
weeks,
where.
give
Can't
me a
say.
week.
Ooh.
Well, that's an update.
That is an update.
Potential update, we'll see.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Casket, do the following words have any meaning to you?
The what?
Quote, do the following words have any meaning to you? Quote, who shin my pants?
That was a tweet of mine.
What? Why did you choose that tweet?
I just thought it was funny. Usually when me and Krusty are talking, I'll say something genius, and he's like, you've got to tweet it.
Yeah.
Oh, so Krusty's the brainchild.
Let's see,
Not
my
all of
Floyd,
them.
my Floyd is Pink says, I live around a lot of Amish, and even their prices are high.
Jesus. Right now, it's cheaper to buy chicken than it is eggs.
It
Blows my
is. It
mind.
really is.
Mm-hmm.
Which is insane to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Not only
Speaking of
that, but
feeling
beef
justified,
prices. Hmm?
Casket needs to do more movie reviews. More movie reviews are coming.
Good.
again, super chats. Your movie goes #1 on the list, depending on the corner.
I would like to see you review. There's a couple of movies I'd like to see you review.
Oh, we've already got a movie you know pretty well on the list.
What's that?
Oh, we're gonna watch Lars and the Real Girl.
Shit, that's literally what I was just thinking of.
Yeah, we've already got it on the list.
That is such a good movie. Yeah, yeah, that's such a good movie. Lars and the Real Girl.
what if
Companion's pretty good.
I know? Wait, I know what perfect way I get that sex doll. It's like, yeah, I'll get the sex doll, and I'll do a shot-for-shot remake of Lars and the Real Girl.
That's too funny. You would too. So you're still on this whole sex doll thing.
Slightly, yeah.
I thought we were over this hurdle.
My Floyd is Pink says I should review Sisters of the Traveling Pants.
You should. Matter of fact, I think it'd be hilarious to have you review like 90s girl movies.
Alright, Mary Kate and Ashley's Halloween is now on the
That's
list.
literally what I was thinking. Holy shit, we're in sync today, man.
Dude, what do you expect? We're brothers!
Like when I said that, that was the first movie that popped up in my head. Where'd they get the wands?
Dude, I don't even remember anything about that movie.
Well, you should definitely review that movie. That'd be hilarious.
It's crazy how often we think of the same thing at the same time.
Yeah, that movie needs to be on there. Let's see, what are some other ones? The Hannah Montana movie.
Oh, fuck the
Got
Hannah Montana movie.
Excuse me. That I will not let that stand.
I'm sorry, that's part of your generation. It ain't part of mine. I was in my fucking...
Okay.
I was like
See,
20 when that shit was coming out.
Yeah, and I was like 10.
the Hannah Montana movie.
The old Hanny Montani!
She
Yeah,
had her moment. She was a queen.
yeah.
Hannah Montana.
And then
No.
she went fucking crazy on a wrecking ball.
2013. 2014. What a time to be alive.
It is a time to be alive indeed.
Oh, fun news. What do you think about that potential chance of a meteor hitting Earth in 2032?
I'll be dead by then, so I won't give a shit.
That's your answer to anything that doesn't happen today. Oh, it's going to happen tomorrow? I'll be dead by then. Don't worry about
No,
it.
I'm pretty sure I'll be alive tomorrow. I say
Yeah,
that while I died in my sleep tonight.
Oh god,
yeah,
don't jinx yourself, please.
Exactly.
yeah. Who knew this was going to be the
Um,
last podcast?
Yeah, the last podcast.
We're gathered here today at Casket's virtual funeral to give praise to the dead
Rusty,
man.
Crusty, did you want to talk about what happened, how it went yesterday?
Hold on, before we
Oh,
talk about that, my Florida Pink says, I don't know if it's just me, but movie night watching Reefer Madness, I could have sworn there was more like killing. Maybe it's just me. I remember a guy taking a shotgun, putting it in his mouth, and blowing his head off in that movie,
yeah.
but that never happened.
Let's look up if there's an unrated version.
I think there's a 2004 version, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
A remake.
Yeah, they remade it at some point.
Mm.
So, Rusty, did you want to talk about what happened yesterday, or how it went yesterday?
Oh yeah, it went well. It went great. I don't know if you guys watched or not, but it went on for 5 hours.
My Florida's Pink says he remembers the shotgun thing too.
Wow, so vindication for Casket regarding his memory.
Yeah, there must be that those scenes must have been taken out. Too graphic for a modern audience.
Modern.
Mm.
Crazy how that movie came out in 1936, meaning women
Hitler
were,
was still alive.
yeah.
Technically, Hitler could
Women,
have seen that movie.
That's true.
Hitler was in power then, yeah.
Hitler could have
Chance
seen Reefer Madness.
Mind blowing.
Oh, I was in a bookstore today and they had Mein Kampf. It's like, holy shit.
Wow.
Mm.
Needless to say, I did not get it.
Yeah, don't blame you. But yeah, no, things went fantastic yesterday. Yeah, she wants to have me back on pretty much every Friday night now.
Oh, good
So-
for you.
I would. Did you see the message I sent you, though, Krusty?
Mm-mm.
I when I was watching it, I was really glad that it was going well. But then didn't you offer like therapy sessions to people on Discord?
I did.
Okay, well, I think. Look, I can't control what you do. It's up to you in the end. It's your decision, so you can you want. But I'm just saying that if the people who, like, you're in your last semester of school, right? So if the people or the school found out that you were doing that, based on the law that I read,
No,
you might get in
I'm
trouble.
but I've already got my associate license, so I'm legal in my state. You only need your master's in order to have your associate license, and I've already got the equivalency of that and taken the exam for my state.
Again,
So
but
I'm
yes,
100% legit here.
no, but based on what I've been reading, just because you have your licensure doesn't mean you can actually practice, right? You need to have thousands of hours, right, in the field that's
Mm-mm.
supervised.
You're right, and I do have a supervisor.
And have you already accrued all the necessary hours, to, like one-on-one contact with patients in person?
Well, so the way that the licensure works in my state is once per week I meet with my supervisor, and for 1 hour, and I go over parts of the case study. That's the only thing that I do with my supervisor.
And the full
And I have to do
licensing
that
that
until I accumulate all the hours. But my licensing gives me full access to practice.
and it would be
As
your full
long as I'm,
license at your full license at the end would be a LMHC.
yeah, my full licensure that I'll have at the end. The only difference is I no longer have a supervisor, but I have full access now.
And the full licensure at the end would be
Do it
the full licensure at the end would be
at LCSW.
CSW. Oh, social worker.
Yes. So right now I have my LCSWA. So, and yeah, within my state, as long as I meet once a week with my supervisor, I have full access to. I mean, I have full range.
I understand, but what if those folks are not in your state when you do the virtual?
Well, in that case, it's called. I can't. What I can't do is charge for anyone outside the state, and that's why I'm offering it as a free service.
It doesn't matter that it's free, based on what I looked up. Anyway, look. At the end of the day, like, it's your life. You can do what you want. But based on when I was listening in, based on like what I heard, that just caused a little alarm. But I didn't know that it was LCSW. So
Yes, and there's
more into
different guidelines for that.
Yeah, I'm looking at the board.
Yeah.
I don't want you, like, I was really worried. I was like, I don't want Krusty to jeopardize his career potential.
Oh no, I already talked with my supervisor about it before I went on the show last night because I'd already planned on it, and my supervisor already signed off on it. So
when you say signed off on it, what does that mean?
that means that my supervisor gave the go ahead.
Guys,
Or-
we just got
Yeah, my
$2
supervisor said that he thought it was a good idea.
Yes.
Good idea.
They say, "What state is this? I need therapy from Krusty."
But no, my supervisor was 100% aware. Matter of fact, my supervisor was watching it. They sent me an email this morning. They liked it, but no. So I mean, it's all in the up and up.
What? Your supervisor's watching that? And you're okay with
well,
that?
the thing is since I was going to be offering that service, I wanted to get the go ahead from my supervisor, and my supervisor was interested in checking it out, so I gave my supervisor the link.
Alrighty.
Yeah, no, trust me, I'm not going to do anything to jeopardize my licensure. I made sure it was all up and up before I even spoke anything about it.
I'm not saying that you would do it intentionally, but I'm saying that,
Yeah.
be careful.
Yeah, I think I'm fine. I mean, my supervisor has had his full license for 25 years in my state. So, like, he's definitely is. If he gives the okay, then I'm pretty sure I'll be fine. Because he's also on the licensure board for my state. So, like, he literally is one of the ethics people on the licensure board. I'm not going to say anything else because it may, like, dox him. But that's like, so if he says it's okay, he's already on the licensure board for my state. So that gave me a sense of comfort. You know what I mean? But yeah,
Well, as long as it's all on the all and up and up, you know.
it is. Trust me, I wouldn't do anything to jeopardize. But it was a great podcast. The MK guy who showed up, I was shocked. That guy is pretty cool. I spoke with him afterwards, and I checked out his YouTube channel, and he's got like 65, 70K subscribers. Um, and he's been making Mortal Kombat videos since 2005. And so he's like, it was pretty interesting. And now he wants me to come on his podcast, and then the Misunderstood wants me to come on theirs as well. So I'm running around to all these different podcast shows right now, just doing what I do. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited about the Misunderstood and the MK. I mean, those are great opportunities. So, yeah.
Jingle Jess says, "How you doing today, Casket? I'm doing well. They're programming the device and hitting the pin. Let's all take a hit.
Hold up. I need about 5 seconds. I just got out of the shower or my bubble bath. Let me grab my
Take your time. Take your time.
It's somewhere in the floor here.
We'll take a hit in a second. Take your time.
See, where the fuck did I put? Oh, here you are.
Everybody get ready.
All right, give us a countdown.
All right, everybody. It's going to be a 3, 2, 1.
No. That was too big. Jesus. Sounds like you took a bigger one than I did.
Wait a second. Doesn't that mean that your supervisor would have to sit in on every single session that you offer through over Discord?
Nope. That's not how that works. When you get your associate license, all I have to do is I meet with him for 1 hour a week, and I ask him questions that I may have ran into during my therapeutic practice. He doesn't have to sit in on any of them. Well, actually, I take that back. He has to sit in on a certain amount, but it's very little. It's like 10% of my supervised hours has to be supervised sessions.
Jingle
The rest
Jess
is
says
just training.
Krusty tapped out pretty early on the group hit.
I did.
While he's recovering.
But it's about 10% of the sessions. So, like, maybe one session a month, if that. The rest is just training. Like, if I say, hey, I'm dealing with a client that has this problem, what do you suggest would be a good course of action for treatment? You know, because it may be something I've never dealt with before. That's like 90% of it.
Man.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a whole lot of love right now.
Love. Love is good.
Love is amazing, my man.
Agreed.
Is there anything better than love?
Casket, what do you know about love?
I know love is a powerful thing, and it can make you do some stupid shit.
True.
Anything better than love?
Yeah,
Compassion.
I mean, that's part of love.
Empathy.
How about peace?
I would
say
assume
peace.
that's also part of love.
What, peace?
I mean, if you're loved, aren't you at peace?
That's you're jumping.
Yeah.
You can still be at peace and not love each other, right?
True.
I'm saying peace is in no war, right? Like peace is in people living peacefully. I think that's more important than people
Yo,
being
demonic
in love.
credit just showed up. What's up?
What's
You
up?
hear what I'm saying though? You hear what I'm saying though, Casket?
Yeah.
So, Casket, earlier this week, the historian wrote a script for you, and he did a walkthrough of the script. I want to talk about that a little bit. What do you think about that script?
I just want to say that my Florida's Pink 79 just donated $5. And he says the PSN servers are down, but at least we got Casketking.
Hell yeah.
Also, Jiggle Jess just donated $2. Sounds like Casket's the only one who's been in love.
Yeah. So, Casket, do you think you can love something genuinely, compassionately? Like, what about these people who have like AI girlfriends or things of that nature? Do you think that they can love these things?
You can totally love an inanimate object.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it can't love you back.
Hmm.
But
This is
a,
reminds
a
me of
person can feel love for an inanimate object. I mean, I fell in love with an inanimate object.
What was it?
My Pokemon, like back when I was like 12 and 13. I didn't have any friends, but I had my Pokemon. And they were just little pixels on a screen. That's not even an inanimate object. That's like even less of a thing. And it's like I fell in love with them like they were my pets. And when I lost them, I like genuinely grieved like my dog fucking died.
Yeah.
So I can totally believe somebody can fall in love with an inanimate object.
Yeah. So my question is, if something can synthetically demonstrate love, even though they have no capability of experiencing feelings, if they can fulfill that role to the point where it becomes indistinguishable,
Basically, it's like a robot giving you a hug.
like, yeah, but if it's indistinguishable, then does the love part actually matter?
I don't know. That's when you start getting into these gray zones, man. Like it's like if you're talking about like an AI girlfriend,
Yeah. Or boyfriend.
AI doesn't have the ability to have feeling. It
No,
doesn't
but
have
if
it
it can
doesn't have a
simulate
brain.
it,
It doesn't have those chemicals, you know?
true. But if it can simulate it to the point that it's indistinguishable, then is there an actual difference?
When Arthur Morgan died in Red Dead Redemption 2, I cried like I knew him from My Florida's Pink 79.
See, look at there. That's another example. Yeah. See, I had the same thing with
well,
my Yu-Gi-Oh cards back when I was a kid.
I think there's an interesting. I mean, I know that like rabbis have had discussion in the past regarding the idea of love one another, and if you add the verb be loving, and you change it right to be loving to one another as opposed to love one another,
Mm-hmm.
meaning there's a difference between being loving to a stranger and then loving a family member that you know. Like it's what like when you phrase it that way, it's a different
Yeah, but
meaning.
Different
just
context.
because it's not the same kind of love doesn't mean it's not love.
I don't
It's
know.
like
I
it's like a couple years ago we were having a big hurricane and we invited this homeless guy to stay with us through the hurricane because he had nowhere to go.
okay.
Yeah, that's
And it was
compassion.
It's not love. It's you are acting lovingly.
compassion. I would
Yes,
argue compassion is a lesser form of love.
sure, but not love. And here's why I say this. Like for example, I don't want to phrase this correctly because I know it's a
Take your
sensitive
time.
part
Take your time.
of the past. But like
Compose
the
your
Pokemon,
words.
like for example, the Pokemon that you've had grew that attachment to, that
Yeah.
attachment and that feeling was very valid. And I don't want to diminish that because obviously they meant a lot to you and they still do.
Uh-huh.
But my line of thinking is perhaps you felt that way towards that Pokemon because you weren't getting love in other parts of your life, right? And therefore, the Pokemon played an elevated role in offering you
Well,
something
yeah,
maybe you weren't receiving at the time.
because I had no friends.
Exactly, right? So I'm not saying that it's that therefore invalidates it, but I'm saying that that in instances like that, there's usually a reason why that's happening. But it doesn't invalidate. It's still awesome. Wait, is that another donation? Ask it. Do you want to read the super chats?
Uh, I don't see any other donations.
Oh, did you already read the one from Jiggle Jazz?
Yeah, it sounds like Casket's the only one who's been in love.
Oh, my bad. I didn't hear that.
Well, I would
It's
say,
interesting
I would
conversation.
argue, what I would like, Casket, is I want to run an experiment with you.
Okay, what's your experiment?
Between this episode and the next, I want you to download an AI girlfriend app, and I want you to use it every day. And I want a review of it on next week's podcast, where you come on and you rate it and you talk about your experience
Well,
as
the thing
someone who's
is, I've
never
kind
used
of
it.
toyed around with them already.
Wait, sorry, toyed around with what?
Like these supposedly AI girlfriends, you know?
But
Like,
but when was the last time?
I don't know, a couple weeks ago.
Oh, weeks. What?
Yeah, like, I fuck around with AI every once in a while when I'm bored.
Okay, which AI girlfriend app did you use? I'm
I
curious.
can't remember the name. I know I've got it bookmarked somewhere. But I was just fucking around with it, see what it was like. It was like, okay, this is interesting. You know?
That's harmless.
Hmm.
I didn't fall in love with it or anything.
What was the conversation like?
I don't know, how are you? You know, this and that, I was trying to, I don't know, just fucking around with it.
All right, I'm going to do research and I'm going to find one, and I'm going to say I want you to use this one for a week. I'm going to find the best one that I can,
Why? Why?
because I just want to know what his thoughts are after using a program like that. It could be I want him to
Why?
have the experience, because I want to know what his predictions are going into the future with stuff like that after
Alright, people are
using it
saying
for a week.
they agree, they want to see it, so Krusty, go find him.
All right, I will do that. Mission accepted.
You've
I'm
got till Monday.
okay, easily done.
It's crazy how we just like bring in things that are destroying society. Like, hey, let's exhibit A.
I don't know. I'll find it interesting to see what happens. Do I fall in love with the AI?
I
Do
mean,
I
we'll
And I
find
even
I
out.
would
connect with
argue I would argue
AI?
that I would argue that you're not falling in love with the AI.
Well, I
There's an
guarantee you could
attachment.
fall in love with AI. You can fall in love with just about anything.
I think the phrasing. I would say you can get attached to anything. Yes.
Yeah, but your feelings are real to you. So if you feel love for a cardboard cutout, you're gonna actually feel love for a cardboard cutout.
Yes, but people who are mentally ill shouldn't always trust their feelings, right?
Yeah, but it's not like they're hurting anyone. They're just loving a cardboard cutout.
I would argue that they're hurting themselves
How are they
Yeah.
hurting themselves?
because they're wasting time or they're trying to alleviate the symptom without getting to the root cause, right? So like it's same thing with the companion doll, right? It serves they both serve the purpose of fulfilling a need in one's life to be felt seen and heard and loved, and while it'll address that in the short term, um, unless you're deeply mentally ill and actually really get attached to it, in my opinion, again, it's all my opinion. We can debate it all we want. I don't think that that's like a healthy form of love. Even if I agree that it is love, I would argue it's not healthy.
I'm
I
just
think.
my thoughts are these applications, these types of things are becoming more and more popular, and in a bizarre sense, more socially acceptable. Like in my PhD class, two people were talking about their AI partners, and this is a PhD class. Like, and and they were openly talking about it and how much they've enjoyed it in the classroom, like as though it's just a normal thing to do. And so there is a sense of normacy that's starting to emerge from the popularity of these types of things, right?
Dude, if AI is everywhere, of course there's going to be a sense of normalcy. What I argue is that doesn't mean that normalcy is good, right? Just because something is gaining traction or gaining, like, being trendy, doesn't mean that in the long-term health of our society that having this will be good, right? I think it's actually just another example of how technology and social media has turned our brains to mush, right?
All right,
I
we got a couple of super chats here. Jiggle Just says you can't quantify love. It's not your business. My Floyd is pink. Love is a personal experience, and I
Look,
agree.
again, those arguments aren't. You're not addressing where. Of course, it's a personal experience. What I'm saying is the attachment that I argue is happening is still a personal experience, right? I'm not saying it's not a personal experience. I'm saying it's not really love. It's like when people who are in abusive relationships, they'll tell other people that they're in love. But would you really say that they're in love if they're being beaten every night by the abuser, right? They can see that in their perception, because of what they're going through, that they think that they're in love, or they think that, it's a fine relationship. When anyone else who would look in and see the abuse would say, hey, that's not actually love, right? That's a perversion of love. It's being used against you, this attachment, right? So I'm just drawing back to attachment theory, in short, basically. Which I know you know all about, Rusty, right? So you could speak to that.
Yeah, it's. I mean, there are bad attachments, obviously, and there's good attachments of all sorts of variety. When it comes to things like having an abusive partner, on average, it takes a victim of abuse, of domestic violence, 7 attempts before they like actually leave the partner. And I mean, that shows the power of wanting. Like, it is an innate human desire, I would argue, to want to feel loved, right? Like, everybody wants to feel appreciated. We can, right?
That's true.
Well, appreciated is different than loved, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, appreciated by their peers and loved by at least someone.
Well, let's just stick to one thing. Let's just stick to love, right?
That's fair. And so I would say I am curious about what that's going to look like in 2035, when what we have now is going to look like child's play from what we're going to have then.
You're
a decade
excited
from
about
now.
that. You see the difference between you and I. You're excited for that future, and I'm dreading it, right?
Well, it's going to lead to serious population decline, because you can't have kids with an AI.
That's true. That's true.
Like, there are some serious downsides to this. I acknowledge that.
Doesn't necessarily mean that that doesn't necessarily mean that there'll be a serious population decline. By that point, there might be more technology that can create children from sperm, right?
Yeah, I mean, who's to say?
Exactly.
But the biggest problem, though, that I see with this...
Sorry, Jeff, really big, important thing from Jeff. Casket, you have the volume on Crusty and Queso too high. It's causing...
Okay, I think I fixed it.
Great. Sound check. Is this better?
Wait, I just wanna address something. Jiggle Jess, I'm not... You say that I'm making measurements against love, right? But I've never used a unit of measurement in my entire discussion, right? I'm talking more philosophical debate, right?
Says Ted Bundy's mother still loved him after all he did.
That's God, what a terrible example, Jesus Christ. Ted Bundy's mother was probably mentally ill, right?
Well, no, well, maybe, but it's like, yeah, he did all that horrible stuff, but it's like, if you love someone, you can't stop that.
Yes, you can. If I loved a friend and I found out they murdered someone, I would no longer love that friend, right?
Okay, that's a valid argument. I'll give you that.
Yeah. See, there's unconditional love, and then there's conditional love.
Exactly.
Right?
And I would argue conditional love is not.
You're so much smarter than I am.
Well, I would argue that unconditional love is meaningless.
Jesus Christ. let's not go into that
I
yet.
consider unconditional love the best kind of love because it's like it's unconditional. No matter how badly you fuck up in life, they're still there to love you.
Yes, but the point is, if something can't be tested, and with trials and tribulations, then there is nothing there. Unconditional love is the equivalency of AI. That's what AI
Jesus
girlfriends are
Christ.
giving.
No, it's not. It's like, what are you talking about? That's not what
Yeah, you really
unconditional love
lost me
is.
on this one, man.
Well, let me explain it this way. Unconditional love means that you are not tested and you don't have to grow as a person, right?
No,
Well, explain how that's not the case then.
because you're the way that you're framing this is putting it on the one being loved, right? You, us, Casket, me, him, right? The one feeling, getting that unconditional love. I'm saying that the definition of unconditional love is looking at the person giving the love, right? So like the parent in the relationship, right? When you say a parent loves a child unconditionally,
Excuse
they
me.
would run into a moving train, push their child out of the way, killing themselves but saving their child, right? They would be willing to risk their life, right? Um, I'm saying that the framing is I want to focus on the person who's giving that love and why it's unconditional, and not the person who's receiving that love. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Right? Like for example, that example I said, right? A parent sees a car is about to hit their child. They run into the way, push the child out of the way, saving them, but they die. Right? Would you not consider that unconditional love?
I mean, yeah, I would say that is well, unconditional love is. Hold on, I gotta go see what that was. I don't know if you heard that, but I'll be right back.
Classic crusty move, but okay. Let's see. Let's address Jiggle
What, you didn't
Jess.
hear that?
I did not.
No, I did.
What did it sound like?
Sound like a thump.
Thump. There was thump thump in the night.
No, it is almost 8
Um,
o'clock.
I just don't get Jiggle Jess. What you're saying in the comments doesn't make sense to me.
I'm telling you, man, you could totally love an inanimate object. And yeah, you might just be crazy, but you know what? I don't see it as them hurting themselves. And
I think
they're certainly not hurting other people.
I see love as two-way, right? For me to use the word love, I see it as two-way, meaning
Well, yeah, if it's
that.
between two people, yeah, I would assume it's two-way.
So that's where I'm saying where when you involve an inanimate object, I'm saying I don't use the word love. I use the word they're attached, right? There's an attachment there. It's meaningful. But I wouldn't say it's love because that inanimate object can't provide that same love back to you, right? Even if it's AI. Dude, Jiggle Jess, this is not a quantification argument, man. This is a philosophy. This is more about philosophy than anything. So I don't know why you keep saying that I'm applying my perspective. I'm talking in big, broad, like talking about ideas here, right? The
I don't
idea
know,
of
man.
love.
Like, okay. What about this? What about this? Let me ask you this. Here's a hypothetical.
Okay,
You
okay.
get a dog.
Hypothetical.
You love that dog. You know what I mean? Have you ever had a dog you love?
A dog is not an inanimate object, though.
Well, I know, but I'm getting to it.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
getting to the
Sorry.
point.
Sorry. Gotcha.
But you love that dog. You love that dog so much you do anything for that dog. But what if you found out? What if you could talk to animals like 10 years after you got the dog, and you could talk to the dog? The dog says, "I've hated you this whole fucking time. I hate you so much." Like that. Like then it. You know what I mean?
Wait. Sorry. Can you say the last part one more time? I
Like after
apologize.
that, you can talk to the dog, and the dog's like, "I hate you. I hate you so much. I've always hated you."
Okay. And if I heard that from my dog, I would be hurt. No. But then at the same time, you would know that if that was true, if the dog has hated you the whole time, they wouldn't be licking your face, right? They wouldn't be. Their actions would indicate that, in my opinion, they don't like you, right? Because dogs behave differently when they love someone, their owner, and when They don't, right? Or they're scared, or they're angry. So I hear what you're saying, and I think the dog is a good example of actual love. Like, I believe that you can love a dog as in, like, it's two-way, right? The dog loves you back. You know what I'm saying? But this is interesting. I really like this discussion with you, Casket. I feel like this is so like philosophical that it really gets you going in terms of
But let me
discussion.
let me not be philosophical. Let me be scientifical.
Scientifical. Let's hear it.
Scientifical.
If the chemicals in your
Scientifical.
brain are making the love chemical, it doesn't matter what you're loving. You're feeling love.
So let's explore this. If the brain is sending that signals, then why are we even talking about, why does that matter? Because wouldn't that then mean that, oh, actually, just love isn't real? It's just a bunch of electromagnetic signals throughout the brain.
Oh, you could argue that, but I argue that because they're electrical signals in our brain, that makes them real.
Sure, but people who have schizophrenia have signals in their brain, but they hallucinate, but that doesn't mean that's
That's true, but that's them hallucinating, not having a feeling.
true. But you said signals in the brain, right?
Right?
Technically, having a feeling is still signals in the brain, right? I'm just
Yeah,
exploring
yeah, but
this
they're
avenue,
different
right?
parts of your
Let's hear it.
brain.
True. So that's why we have to define like what our terms are in discussion, right? Like, what do we define as certain things?
Mm.
I think that's the best point you made though so far, Casket. Like, that's a tough one, but that's like that gets out also into like if we have free will, right? That gets into those
I
types
don't
of
believe in
questions.
free will
I completely
personally.
believe in free will. I'm living proof. I'm 29 days since not wait, no, not 29, 39 days since I've had an actual soda.
Okay, Casket, can you control your thoughts? Wait, let me rephrase this. What when you do an action, why do you do that action?
Because I usually need to do it.
Why do you need to do it? What makes you?
Well, I've got to like move my hand if I want to pick something up, or want to breathe. I got to move my ribs.
Do you ever have a thought like, oh, I'm hungry, right?
Yeah,
And you control that thought.
yeah,
And you, oh, so you know that thought is coming before you have it.
yeah. Because I'll be sitting there and it's like, wait a
So
second.
you know, wait, so you know like, what are you gonna think? What are you gonna think several seconds from now?
I'm thinking I need to read this super chat. Jingle Jazz donated $5. It says love. He says yes, love is just a bunch of signals throughout the brain. Maybe schizos are in reality and you aren't. Love happens on that level. You can't argue.
No, maybe see, that's just such a bad argument. Obviously, schizophrenics are not in reality, right? That's a lame argument. Love happens on that level. You can't argue. Again, I think what we're having the discussion on a different level than you are, Jiggle Jess, unfortunately. So, but we appreciate the super chats and keep engaging, please.
By the way, my lovely girlfriend has joined us, babes.
Welcome to the
Yeah,
chat,
me.
Alice. Alice, what's your thoughts
Can
about
you hear
love?
dogs?
I hear some
I
barking
think love
doggos,
is
I do.
beautiful. I think the love is beautiful, and we all should love each other at the end of the day, and the world will be a better place. And some other gay shit like that.
I can
But
argue. I could say I could argue that we should be loving to each other, but I don't think we should think it's. Oh, I can't love a stranger. That's what I'm arguing. I can be
Interesting.
loving to a stranger, but I can't love a stranger. I don't know.
Hmm, yeah. My thoughts are, I think, well, Just my thoughts is we do not have free will because here's my to go back to the love thing, right?
All right.
Okay, can you turn on and off who you love at will?
I don't know. I've never thought about it.
Yeah, can you turn off your feelings towards someone at will for no
I
other
think.
reason than the fact you just want to turn it off?
Well, this is similar to my argument that I was.
I don't know. I pretty much did that with my old man.
Mm, I
Yeah,
don't
but
know about that
there was pre-existing trauma there,
exactly.
so that's a secondary symptom, right? So I'm asking you for like, let's say I'm going to use your mom in this example. You love your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you wanted to, since you have free will, can you turn off your love for her and no longer love her?
Well, I have an interesting perspective on this, but keep thinking. I don't know if I should share it. Jiggle
Let
Jess, we appreciate you.
let's let Casket answer, and then I'd like to hear your perspective.
My
I
Floyd
don't.
is pink. You're
I don't.
projecting. Go ahead.
I don't think I can. But Jiggle Just says, put queso in the Einstein perspective elevator. My Floyd is pink says your argument or that of a petty child.
My Floyd is pink. You are projecting with that super donate chat, but we appreciate
So, so
the
Casket,
support.
you said I don't think I can turn off my love for my mother, which means that it's beyond your control, right?
Well, maybe love is just one of those things we can't control.
Well, doesn't that kind of go to the point that you don't have free will because you don't have a choice to make there? It's been made for you.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with the way that you put that. You decide you.
Yeah, I don't. I
I
don't
feel
agree
like
with the way you've put it.
you love.
All right. Well, then argue how I'm wrong.
I don't know how to do that. It's gonna be
It's not
completely
about
honest.
arguing
At
how
least
you're
you're honest
wrong.
about that.
I would say here. I'll speak for Casket. In my perspective, holy shit, my brain. Oh god, I'm just gonna brain fart right now. I'm gonna pull a Casket right now.
It's
I'm not even
okay.
pulling a
I'm
Casket.
running at like
I
50%
personally
today.
think. I personally think that you decide who you love based on your experience. You don't love for no reason. I personally am not a person that believes in love at first sight and bullshit like that.
Oh, so you're a nature believer. So it's based off of lived experiences.
Love somebody because they are nice to me. You know, I love somebody. I don't even base my love based in
You
looks.
love
I
somebody
base my
because
love.
they're nice to you.
Yeah,
Is that why you love
What do you mean?
Casket?
What do you mean by love? What do you mean by define love, Alice?
I don't know the feeling of appreciation and wanting to be with somebody else.
Would you be willing to
Uh,
push that? Would you be willing to push that stranger out of the way in front of a moving car?
what?
Would
Okay,
you be
what am I
willing to
doing to a
push?
stranger?
Okay, so you said you love that stranger, right?
Maybe.
Maybe. So okay, well we have to.
I feel like
So you
there
don't
is
remember.
different, like there are different levels of love.
Okay, so that's what I'm arguing as well. I'm saying that you can be loving to a stranger, but you
Yeah.
can't love a stranger because that's not how love works, right? Love is, in my opinion, accumulated over time and shared lived experience, right? While you can be
Hmm.
loving and empathetic and sympathetic to a stranger, as you should be, I don't think you can technically love that stranger, right? Because yes, you can. Now you're projecting. That's very interesting. And no, I certainly have my own attachment issues, no doubt. But I think that's what gives me good perspective on this, right? Right? Like I accept that family members and people who raise children can be unloving or can be not loving, right? Because
I
they're the mom.
I've got to agree with my Floyd is pink. Love is love. Like I consider compassion a type of love. Like if you're giving a homeless guy, $5 or $10, at least that's some sort of kindness. That's some sort of feeling of love, even if it's minuscule.
No, I hear you, but I'm arguing that you guys are at like the iceberg, the tip of the level, and I'm saying we have to go deeper, right? Saying love is a very general,
But
vague
why
thing.
does it have to go deep? It's love.
Well, it doesn't have to go deep. We don't have to have the discussion, but I'm arguing that what someone thinks is love doesn't necessarily mean that is love, right? Hence my example of people in abusive relationships, right? Can have a feeling that is not technically accurate to reality, right?
Well, I would definitely agree that there's different levels of love. I think that's got to be a true statement. It is for me. In my
I
opinion.
agree. There are different levels of love.
So let's explore those levels then.
Okay, well, there's unconditional love. That's one level. There's
Wait, where does
conditional
that level?
love.
Wait. Where does unconditional love? Because level means
I
that.
don't look. I don't know where they're placed on levels, but I'm just trying to name them out.
See, it is deep though, because you see, Jiggle Jess again. You're proving my point. I'm saying that you don't want to go that deep. I recognize that you want to just stay in the vague, like love is love, like everyone love each other. But I'm arguing that philosophers for, hundreds of years have discussed this very topic, right? So obviously there is a deeper conversation to be had here. If the great philosophers and scholars of the past have also had conversations similar, but it seems as though those in the chat don't want to have that type of conversation.
I believe that lived experience dictates what type of love you appreciate as a person. Right? Can we agree on that part?
You know what? I'll agree with that.
I agree.
All right. And so, since you don't really have full control over your lived experience because you can't control other people, then doesn't that also mean that it's not completely in your control as well? Maybe? Yes, no? Great. Well, what I'm getting at here is.
Oh God, Jiggle Jess, Jesus, Jiggle
Oh,
Jess
what
doesn't
did Jiggle
understand what
Jeff
philosophy
say?
is. Jiggle Jess said philosophers of the past talked about lots of shit that we know is just probably false, which tells me that Jiggle Jess doesn't know what philosophy is. But thank you for that comment, and thank you for your support in the chat.
Dang, Jiggle Jeff has a hate boner for Queso today.
Apparently, but like outright, like philosophers, there's no right or wrong philosophy. You're talking about like ideas, right? Like you're not talking about actual things. You're talking about, it's literally in the name, right? You're thinking about life, right? What does it mean to live? What happens when we die? What does it mean to love one another? What does it mean to?
So here's my question:
Will we ever know the truth about anything?
If
exactly.
love
What
is
is
measurable,
truth? What is false?
yeah. If love is measurable and there's different states of love, at what point do you actually know when you are in love with someone? Like, is there a switch point? Like, where's that measurable line?
Yes, I would argue that there is. Well, it's again, like you said, it's based on our experiences, but I think people who go into a relationship recognize that, oh, there's a point where you start thinking about this person every day, right? You start getting butterflies in the stomach, right? A chemical reaction in the body telling you that your brain is thinking, oh, this person is special, right? But that feeling doesn't happen immediately. That usually is a buildup, right? Based on my experience, again, it's anecdotal, but
yeah. My other question is, so there's also something called lust, which can be a strong motivator to
Oh
love,
yes.
right? And
that's a
so,
good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah, and so there has to be some level of physical. Okay, there doesn't have to be, right? There's asexual people everywhere, so I can't make that statement. But I would say that in many cases there has to be some sort of lust factor, right, in order to build into that, right? Like if we're talking about a partner, things of that nature, not like a parent-child situation.
Yeah, if you're looking for a partner, yeah, I would agree. There's got to be some sort of lust in there.
Yeah. So then my question is,
That's interesting. I don't know if I agree with that.
okay, elaborate.
Well, let's look at the word lust, right? A lust is a very strong sexual desire, right? Someone, right? I think that there are people in love with each other who are not. Well, that's not the
Yeah, but
best way to
we're
phrase it.
strictly talking about if you're looking for a partner.
You can still be attracted to a person, but I wouldn't say like being attracted to someone equates to lust. I would say lust is a perversion, or can be a perversion, right? Not
Like
moderated.
I,
Does that make
one
sense?
of
This is
unfiltered
the
lust is a
moment
perversion.
in which we remember we remind the public that asexual people exist against all
That's
odds.
true. I did mention that. I said there are asexual people out there where that is not a factor. So I gave credit to that. But if you are not asexual, then there has to be a level of attraction, and I would argue a level of lust that has to be at play for a partner.
No, see why? What? So you think? I would say
I
that
think I think lust is just another form of love, really.
no,
Really?
no.
Explain.
That's
I want to hear the rationale
Okay,
behind his thought.
okay. How do I? Okay, I want to word this. I want to word this well. Okay. Lust can be a form of love because it's making those chemicals in your fucking brain, but it's making
Mhm.
them all crazy.
What do you think,
well.
chat?
There's a little more science to it, but yes.
Yeah, I want to know the chat. Chat, do you think lust? Do you agree with Casket King? Do you think lust is a form of love? Why or why not? Hmm.
There's a really easy way to debunk the idea that love is a form of lust, right?
Okay.
Or lust is a form of love. Is that someone rapes someone, right? When someone rapes someone, they do that out of, well, it's not, I don't want to do a blanket statement, but in some cases they do it out of lust, right?
Mhm.
They have a very strong sexual desire for that person. But would you consider in that situation lust to be a form of love, that they're loving that person when they're raping them,
I mean, absolutely not.
right?
No.
I can't. There's no arguing that perspective.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, that lust and love are different, right? Lust can be measured actually by your brain waves, right? By and I would argue that love, what we were talking about, love is more of like a philosophical idea that we can discuss. While lust is more like, oh, blood is rushing to the penis, right? He's having an erection. That's shit that can be measured because you are feeling lustful, right?
Right. I
We
will say though that it. I
we
mean,
got
sexual compatibility among partners is absolutely a necessary
Of
factor,
course.
right?
I never said otherwise, right? I'm talking more like comparing and contrasting the idea of love and
Hmm.
lust, right? Saying that they're two separate things, but they do, of course interact, and there's overlapping elements, but I wouldn't say that lust is a form of love. I think it's definitely part. I don't know, I have to think more about it.
Yeah.
we got a dono from Jiggle Jazz who says, "Who's religious here? I'll get y'all's views more."
Religious. I'm an atheist, so the answer is not me.
Not
I'm
me
a
either.
Luciferian.
I'm also an
What
atheist.
is
So
Alice? I've never known what Alice is.
I always say that I am an atheist in theory, fucking Wiccan in practice.
Ah,
the Wicca.
Yeah, I practice like some form of Wiccanism,
that's interesting.
but it's
So,
like part of me also knows that I don't fully believe in this, but I practice it. I'm very funny.
So would you say you practice it as a hobby then, more so than a religious perspective?
Yeah, kind of. I just like to have some form of like a belief system that makes me feel like the universe makes sense.
Hmm. So we have
Even
a
though at the same time
Luciferian.
I don't believe in it. It's very funny. I am a clown.
So like, what kind of things do you do as a Wiccan, like for your practice, if you don't mind sharing?
Okay, at least like twice a year, I try to do a little ritual in which I hope for better in my life.
Hmm. That's
I
cool.
hope for things to go better, and I burn some like incense, and I write things that I hope happen.
Yeah, interesting. I personally, I'm a true blue atheist. Just 100%. Don't believe in ghosts.
Question for you. Sorry to interrupt. Did you used to believe, Rusty?
Oh yeah, well, I was born in going to a Baptist church throughout all of my childhood.
Interesting. I would
Yeah,
love for us to have a conversation because we both grew up religious and then we both turned out to be atheists. So I'd love to explore that together because it's something that we share in common, right?
yeah, yeah. That would be that'd be a good topic. And what really blows my casket. What about you? Were you religious as a child?
No, not until I was like 11.
Tell me, speak more about that. What happened at 11 that made you religious?
Oh, for some reason, my mom started going to the church down the street. I don't know why, but she had to drag me along with her.
Mm. What was the experiences like there?
Fucking terrible. The children there were shit. The people were two faced.
Hmm.
Just a fucking
Mm.
bad experience all around.
Interesting. Yeah, for me, I think I was in fifth grade when I started questioning. Like all the way up until then, I was like a true believer as in a Baptist church, and in fifth grade, I started questioning some of the stories from the Bible, and I found myself in conflict for about 2 years, where it was like logic meets my emotional. Like I both believed and didn't believe for about 2 years, where it, like I knew I was like I've got to get rid of this brainwashing, and I was telling myself this in fifth grade. I was like I've got to deprogram myself from this. Of course, I didn't use the words deprogram back then, but it's like I have to get rid of the brainwashing because uh, I think what really started to spark that for me is I'm from the mountains in a very rural area, so it's like the only thing I ever knew was Baptist church. Well, in fifth grade, we watched a documentary in one of my classes, and one of the guys that was on the documentary was talking about how he's a Buddhist, and that was the first time I ever was confronted with something besides Baptist Christianity, right?
Mhm.
And then I started doing research on the computers at school, and I found all these other religions that people believe everywhere else. And in fifth grade, I realized, I was like, how do I know that what I'm doing is the right thing? Because all these other people also believe it, and they're not doing what I'm doing. And so that was kind of the thing that opened my eyes back then. That's my lived experience. What about you, Queso?
Similar, really similar. Definitely was wanted to believe, right? But then when you grow up going through experiences that are not great, and you hear of a loving God, you begin to question, well, the Judeo-Christian God is all loving,
Hmm.
yet there are children with cancer. So what's that about, right? And
Yeah.
again, like people would argue, Christians and Jews alike would argue, oh, but that's because God gave us free will. I would argue that therefore contradicts God being all powerful and all knowing, because that would mean, oh, God knows that children are going to end up having cancer because of free will, and He won't intervene, right? Or He won't change that or whatnot. See, right? So again, it gets back into like philosophical arguments.
Yeah,
I
why
would argue,
doesn't God intervene?
yeah, like where was God during the Holocaust and other atrocities, right? So, but these are deep philosophical conversations that
He was playing. He was
centuries.
playing golf against Zeus.
See, and I'm gonna now. If the historian was here, he'd say it all comes from a fear of death, because he brings it back to that. And I would say in fifth grade, you were absolutely right. When I was in fifth grade, historian. In fifth grade, the reason why I felt so uncomfortable when I started.
Historian's not here, by the way.
I know he's not, but I know that he would bring up the whole fear of death thing,
Oh,
right?
oh,
So I'm
yeah, true.
arguing against that before he even gets here and brings it up because
Wow.
because I know he will, So this is a
But
preemptive move. So in fifth grade, when I came to the realization that I could be wrong, I started to have panic attacks for the first time in my life. I had to go. I remember going to the doctors because for having a panic attack. Because of that, I gave myself a stomach ulcer in fifth grade because I was like, if this isn't true, then maybe there really is nothing when I die. And the idea of nothing after death scared the living hell out of me as a fifth grader, right? And so I was going through all of that, like, stress and all of those thoughts, and it took me years to finally be comfortable with the idea that there is nothing after death. And like, I've already gone through that entire process, but it was years as a child where it fucked with me hardcore, because I mean, the idea of
You
Oh,
engaged the historian.
use his
literally
name and
you
he
made
shall
him
appear.
appear.
The historian is here.
all right, see, I knew I was
Yeah, I
Wow.
know.
preemptively putting. I knew it.
Speak of the devil, and he will appear. No,
By the
the
way,
I
before we go any further, I just want to say we got two donos here. Love and lust reinforce one another. Get real, guys. And Queso can't chew gum and walk at the same time.
Man, hate boner for queso.
These guys are just there. Look, man. Look, when you come back with ability to talk about deep philosophical discussions, then maybe we can engage. But I see that you're just surface level conversations, so I don't want to even engage anymore. No offense.
well, Krusty, I'm sorry, I didn't hear the end of your thing, but I was listening, and frankly, I didn't want to join in on the first conversation about love. But when in the second thing, I thought, oh, I might have something to say here about a road to atheism. But when Krusty said, well, the historian would bring it back to death, I would not in this case at all. But I'll let you
Wow.
continue there. So,
Corrected
Krusty.
by live correction by the
Dang.
historian.
Well, I mean, I just wouldn't. And it does. I don't have any. Yeah.
But sometimes you can be a contrarian. So maybe could it be that?
I don't know. I don't think of myself as a contrarian. If I'm a contrarian, it's just because I believe what I believe and somebody else might believe differently, but I don't try to be whatsoever.
Never said you did.
Well, now that the historian is here, is your perspective of the afterlife? Like,
Well,
what do you?
no, the only thing I don't remember how it came up, but no, well, I guess Extra Queso had said something about God and where was God during the Holocaust, but I think an interesting question there would be where was God during the deluge, right? During the flood. And God caused it, right?
Yeah, that's another whole ethical discussion, right?
Right, but God killed everybody on planet Earth at that point.
Not
So he
everybody.
was everybody except for Noah and his family. So he's
Historian, you've got a
certainly
fan in the
accept.
chat. It says historian, read our chats. I know you'll back me up from Jiggle Jess.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know about that,
I
buddy.
don't.
But
I don't
okay.
even really want to get into that whole love debate thing. Um, but no, I think I don't know. A lot of different gods, and I think certainly the Judeo-Christian God can be a very mean God, and
I agree.
I
Yeah,
um
sounds like an asshole.
I
I don't know.
agree.
What is your religion, historian? Do you
Well,
have one?
Krusty, I think you do know.
I know, but I'm trying to pitch you a question for the audience.
Well, I am an atheist, and in terms of my road to atheism, I can remember the exact moment. In fact, I think Krusty, you had said in 5th grade was the moment for you, and it was in 5th grade for me as well, because I can remember a classmate telling me that Santa Claus wasn't real, and I was heartbroken because I obviously believed in Santa Claus, and I had kind of toyed with the idea a little teensy little bit, because it's that weird thing of where inherent in Santa Claus is that if you don't believe in him, you don't get the gift. And if you read the Gospels, if you're a Christian, it's very weird. At the end of Matthew, at the very least, from what I remember, they say, people will try to tell you that his disciples took Jesus' body out of the tomb. Don't believe that. And then in John, there's the whole doubting Thomas thing, where Thomas says, I'm not overly pressed to believe, I want to see it. And then I can't remember exactly what happens, but like Jesus comes out as being resurrected and he says, oh, ye of little faith, or whatever. And there's so much about people are going to try to convince you that it's not real, but it's all
I
about
think
belief.
I think you're talking about the guy that gets his finger into the wound of Jesus.
Right. That's Thomas, the disciple, and he's doubting Thomas. And there's also this very weird thing that I think it's Saint Peter says about faith. And he says something along the lines of faith is, oh, I don't even want to mangle the quote, so I should look it up, but it's something like faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And I think that's the perfect definition of what faith is. And people who are real believers look at that quote and, that gives them a lot of solace. But for people who are not believers, it also gives them a lot of solace in the fact that those things aren't, I don't even know how to put it. I mean, I couldn't put it better than he does. The evidence of things hoped for, or the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. In both of those analogies, it's like there's nothing there. Um, but to go back to that with Santa Claus, as soon as I figured out, like the second, and I was heartbroken, it shattered my heart. The second this classmate said Santa Claus isn't real, I believed it immediately, but I hated that classmate and I was really upset. And I was upset for a long time at my parents and the whole thing. And I thought, I was even, yeah, I had a big problem with Santa Claus after that, because I thought, why do we do this to a child? Why do we create this myth and then they have to come to this really heartbreaking, at least for me, acceptance in which it's like, oh, this was all for nothing, and people who you trusted kind of led you on, and it hurt my trust, and it really hurt me for that. But as basically the second that happened was the second that I saw God is the exact same thing as Santa Claus in terms of all this. And it's weird because I couldn't say to my family at that point in 5th grade, because they were very strict believers. I couldn't be like, well, I'm an atheist, and I had to continue on with my faith, and I had to whatever. And I continued on for a very long time. I wouldn't call it faith, but I continued on with an interest in religion for a very long time. And even today, I'm still interested in religion a lot. But um, yeah, I don't know. Certainly at that moment, I recognize it's the same thing. Now today, I look at religion and think, and no offense, because I think Casket's the only thing that you could call a believer in this chat from what I've heard in the last 20 minutes of the live stream. But when you actually look at religion, it's very obviously a product of culture, in my opinion, that's developed over time and over cultures. And it's weird, because if you really look into pre-Socratic philosophy, I think the word revolution, right? Like when people have revolutions, what that comes from is like a revolution of a planetary system or something, in which it comes back to the same point, like it's gone full circle. And I think the revolution that the world's coming back around to is pre-Socratic philosophy, in which There are atoms and the void. Democritus, I believe, is a pre-Socratic philosopher even before Socrates, and he says it's atoms and the void. There's nothing else. And I think that's what we're coming back to thousands of years later. But all we've seen is, and it has a lot of socio-political reasons of why religion exists, and well, I won't even get into that, but there's a lot of reasons. But I agree with Democritus, who must have been like 500 BC, who says it's atoms in the void. There's not these monsters or spirits or whatever. There's nothing supernatural, in my opinion. And that was obvious to me as soon as Santa Claus was obvious to me. And I was almost mad at myself. I said, how could you be so stupid to believe in Santa
It
Claus?
makes me wonder. It makes me yearn for more have members join the Casket crew who are more religious and who can offer.
Yeah. Historian, I have a question for you.
Crusty balls.
Whenever you got to the point to where you were questioning religion in 5th grade, I previously stated that for me, the fear of death at that point was very prevalent in my mind, like the idea that there was no afterlife. What were your thoughts about that whenever you came to the realization that religion wasn't real?
I don't think it had anything to do with it at that point, especially because I was so young that death was nothing to me then. I think my grandmother died around that time, so maybe I was thinking about it, but in terms of religion, it just didn't have. I don't know. When you're that young, especially, you just don't. You're immortal in a lot of
It
ways,
makes
and it
me
wasn't on my mind at all.
it makes me wonder about like whether the paths that we took would be different if we grew up in a different part of the world, right, and a different religion.
Oh, 100%.
Whether we'd still end up as atheists, or whether because of the founding religion that we and culture, like historian was saying, that we grew up in, perhaps maybe it had a greater pull to being a believer than like a Judeo-Christian religion, right? Like if you grew up a
Right.
Buddhist, which is technically not a religion, but maybe that's vexing.
Yeah.
But any other type of religion, any other one with a deity, right?
It might not even exactly be a different religion. I think if I were born in the Middle Ages and all I knew were, I don't know, it's such a big
The
question
Catholic
of
Church.
it. Yeah, the Catholic Church, and not even really the Catholic in terms of universal then, because there's almost nothing, maybe the Lollards, but it's a different thing to where you don't have anything of science. I think it's a little, I don't know. It's a totally different question, but I think if I were born in the Middle Ages, I would have been a believer because I just wouldn't have had the same whatever. But one thing I've always really appreciated is that things really change in the early modern period. And there's I just love this so much. There's a guy called Stephen Greenblatt, who's a very famous literary critic, and he has this idea called Crispianus. What is this? It's subversion in containment. And he says that, throughout history, these authors and these thinkers, they're not allowed to really say what they think, so that they will have containment. The containment's the ultimate thing. They'll say what society wants so that they don't get their heads chopped off, but they'll give these little subversive nuggets within those. And I think one of the most interesting examples, at least that has struck me, is by a guy called Christopher Marlowe. And I guess he's a contemporary of Shakespeare, but Shakespeare was young and wasn't really a big guy at this time. Christopher Marlowe was the big guy at this time. But he has a play about Dr. Faustus, the guy who sells his soul to the devil. And there's this very weird point that I just can't even imagine what it would have felt like to be in the crowd, because the earlier plays were morality plays, and there are these church plays that are showing, your life on earth doesn't mean anything, and it's all about the afterlife and blah blah blah. But Christopher Marlowe comes up with this, and it's not his original idea, but he does it so well. His take on it so well of Dr. Faustus. But in it, Dr. Faustus is talking to Mephistopheles, his familiar, his demon that Satan gives to him on Earth in exchange for his soul. And Mephistopheles is like really afraid of Satan. And um, Mephistopheles is saying all this scary stuff about the afterlife. And Faustus says to him, I think this is like one of the most beautiful lines in the whole Western tradition. Faustus says, "Come, hell's a fable, methinks, or methinks hell's a fable." And I can't, when I read that for the first time, I thought, how could you put it more simplistically, more beautifully than hell's a fable? All of this stuff is a fable.
That's interesting.
And
That makes me think about how I kept on trying to push Casket to keep writing or to write more. To tell me how you'd write in the past, right? But some of the tweets that he would put out, right? I was like, hey, this is pretty well written, right? So, historian, would you also encourage Casket to try to form that habit again of writing daily?
yeah, the other day, well, I told Casket you should write a memoir. What I really want Casket to do is write a memoir. But I've told Casket that for years at this point, and
I would argue that that's not like a great place to start, right? I think if you give someone like, hey, it's like saying to someone like run a marathon when they haven't really run a track race, right? I feel like we gotta start smaller with Casket.
well, the example that I gave you the other day, maybe this was yesterday, maybe it was a couple days ago, but my favorite memoir that I've ever read of all time is by a guy called Mike Boschetti, and he's a comedian. He's not a learned man, without a doubt, and his memoir is almost the entire book is like one sentence. It's not what someone would call well written, but I think it's beautiful, and it's a memoir, and I think it's called Still Standing by Mike Boschetti. It's only on Amazon. It's not a print book. You can get like 10 pages of it for free. You don't have to buy it. You can just get the
Okay, but
preview.
I don't get why you're using such an obscure example of a memoir as a leading.
Well, the idea behind this is that you don't have to be a great writer to write a memoir. Every human being on planet Earth should write a memoir, in my opinion.
No,
Everybody who's
but you're not listening.
literate, and I
You're not
agree.
listening. You're not listening though. I didn't say that writing a memoir is a bad idea. I said that it's not a good first idea. Right? Get Casket back into writing because it's such a huge. It's writing a book, right? It's a huge uh, embarkment that requires more experience, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah,
I
I don't know. I would just say we disagree then.
So you
I
think?
wanted
I mean, it's just
to say
I don't know.
something.
I'll just start writing books. Smaller things first.
I
Just write
wanted
every
to
day.
say that I personally, my experience with Santa Claus is that my parents never told me that Santa Claus was the one bringing the presents, because my parents always thought that why the fuck, if I am the one paying for the presents, why the fuck I will give the credit to a fucking guy that doesn't even exist.
What? That made
And
no sense to me. I'm sorry.
my parents always felt that why would I give you a present and say that somebody else gave it to you if I am the one paying for it?
Right.
Well, that's yeah. Well, that's sounds somewhat cool of them.
Yeah, so they will just bring me to the store and tell me, okay, this is the budget for your present. You can choose whatever you want, and we will tell you if it is in the budget. I'm like, okay.
Right. Some
Hmm.
people
So
try, you know.
uh, sorry. I want to ask Casket if you wanted to continue discussing like
Hmm.
because you were very engaged, Casket, when we were talking about love. So I wanted to
Well,
hear you
I could
continue.
talk about my experiences with Santa or my religious experiences.
Go for it.
All right, I was in second grade when my parents told me about Santa. Now, for some reason, my parents swear they told me sooner, but I remember this happening in second grade.
That's pretty young.
And yeah, I
So,
cried for a bit, but it didn't cause me to have any existential crisis.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, I could talk about my religious experiences if y'all would like to hear about it.
the floor is yours.
Alright, I'll start from when I was a wee little child baba. I knew God existed. We never went to church. We never really did prayers or anything. But if you were like on a form and you had to write down your religion, you probably would have put Christian. So I'm like 5, and I'm like, okay, God exists. Okay, cool. He's a good guy. Whatever. I'm a child. And as I got older, when I was around 11 years old, my mom started taking me to church. And automatically, I didn't like it. First day, it was terrible. They they rounded me up with all the other kids for Sunday school. There was like this old lady teaching a class, and I was 11 at the time. I'm like, I'm too cool for this. There was like another kid there who was like 8 or 9, and he was eating ketchup packets, and I was just like really grossed out because like, and all these kids were like really weird. Like, what the fuck is wrong with these kids? Like they've like never watched TV or something. You know what I mean? Like, when something's off about someone, but you're not sure what it is.
What is it? What do you mean by that?
Like, you ever see someone and think, there's something off about this person, but I can't quite put my finger on it.
No. I'm usually able to figure it out pretty quickly.
Okay, well, this is how those people were. And I'm like, I've got to get out of here. So I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom. So I left, and I went and found my mom, and I just went and sat with her through this boring ass Sunday sermon. They eventually went looking for me after like an hour. And after that, I told my mom, like, I don't want to come back here. These people are fucking weird. Of course, I didn't say all that, but. And after that, I was just really resistant to it. And the more we went there, the more I found out about these people, and the more I did not like them. They turned out to be really high on themselves and really two-faced.
Interesting.
So that's when I started like, okay, maybe God's not so great if this is his followers.
Mm-hmm.
Over the years, I grew a hatred for God. I became an atheist in name, but it's not that I didn't believe in God; it's that I hated God.
And that pushed you, that your lived experiences pushed you to where you are now.
Well, the thing is, back when I was a teenager, I started going to church again, but I only went to church to get away from my old man. So it's like I was still participating, but I was doing it for reasons, but just to get out of the house and away from my old man. And I did that for a couple of years. And then I was just atheist for my 20s. And then when I turned 30, it's like, I don't know, I started smoking weed, and then I started seeing this shit, man, in my head. Like, one day I got really high, and I just wrote that whole thing about Lucifer, man. And I'm like, holy shit. This has got to be like some sort of sign from beyond.
Casket, do you only have those moments and those epiphanies and those Eureka moments religiously and Luciferianisly when you're under the influence?
No.
Oh. What's the most prominent sober experience then?
Well, let's see here. My mom was in the hospital, and I had no weed. I couldn't get any. So I was sober for about a week and a half. And
I remember this.
I don't know, at one point, I had this feeling that it's like, you know what, it's gonna be okay.
Thank you for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, when I became Luciferian, and after what I wrote, and then a couple months later, I had said a prayer, and all of a sudden I felt like this hand was on my back. It was very calming and very gentle, very loving. And it just made me feel like, oh, everything's gonna be okay. Like I had a burden on my shoulders and it had been removed from my shoulders in an instant.
Yeah. Wait, so Casket, how do you know what is real?
How does anyone know what reality is?
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, like how do we know what is real and what isn't?
All I know is what I felt, man. I felt a hand on my back. I felt that calming presence. There was something there.
Sure.
Because I remember, like, at first it startled me. I turned around, there was nothing there. I'm like, oh. And then this calming effect just washed over me. And it's like, oh.
Yeah, but you were in a particular situation that could cause something like that happening with your mom in the hospital, right? It's not a normal situation.
No, this was a different time.
A different time. Oh, apologies. I didn't realize that. People jest. I just don't know what you have against me, man. Nothing personal, man. Like, you are very active in the chat, and we appreciate you. You're a big fan, so I just don't get these
It's
personal.
The hate boner. What did Jingle Jeff say?
People just have been like saying that I'm seething, and then I'm like very angry, and I'm like, no, I'm very calm. I think you're projecting.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But
I project as well. Okay.
Yeah, when that happened, I was about to go out to return a lava lamp to Spencer's.
Oh, was it your dick lamp?
Yes, it was my dick lamp.
You should have kept the dick lamp, man. It was magical and grand.
Look, there are reasons why I didn't keep the dick lamp.
Oh, good lord. Are you able to talk about those reasons?
Yeah, the dog chewed on the cord.
Oh my god. Little man.
The dog chewed on your dick lamp.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Does that mean your dog isn't straight? How does that work?
I don't know. But anyway, I was returning a lava lamp. That's not the important part. And I had been watching car crash videos with my mom because we watch car accident compilations on YouTube because we watched everything else. There's nothing else to watch.
Oh, I know what he's about to say. It's fucked up.
What?
Are you talking about? Is this the motorcycle thing?
Motorcycle thing? No. What?
Oh, well, never mind. I don't know.
I actually do know what Casket's about to say, but yeah, I don't know about this motorcycle thing.
Yeah, neither do I.
No, remember that time you saw that guy wreck on a motorcycle in front of you?
Oh yeah, that was something completely different.
Oh yeah, and it was very, very graphic.
I forgot all about that.
Damn, did you talk to your therapist about that, Casket?
I don't know.
Oh, well, you should, because that sounds traumatic.
Oh, trust me, it was.
But
please continue your story. Sorry for
I don't. No offense, but I don't trust you on that. Preston, give me a second. I'm getting a call.
Well, the way he described it to me, and he talked about it for weeks. Trust me, it didn't leave his mind quickly.
So anyway, I was getting dressed and I was really nervous, and I'm like, still new to the whole Luciferianism thing. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna say a little prayer, just in case, you know. And I did, and I had the whole experience. And that's kind of when I knew to myself that I was on the
You
right
almost
path.
you almost really didn't even tell that story, Casket, there, because I think when you told it to me, you said that you had, and I'm sorry, I was reading the chat, so I didn't hear the whole thing. But if you didn't say this, but you had said that you had felt a touch,
Yeah,
like on your
I said that
shoulder.
before. I felt the hand on my back.
All right, you felt the hand, and this was Lucifer's touch, right?
It,
Uh,
something like that, yeah.
right. And I'm sorry for interrupting here, but I wasn't really paying attention, but I was counting up the chats. There must be, I can't even scroll now past a certain point. But when I was counting it up, it was like over $30 just from what I could see. This must be your most profitable night you've ever
I think
had.
so.
I'm not exactly sure why.
Why?
I mean,
No, I know
I
exactly
just want
why.
to thank everybody for their donations. Really.
I know
yeah,
Yeah,
I
exactly
we
mean,
why.
appreciate you.
Jiggle
he must
Jess
have.
has even said, Jiggle Jess
Jiggle
even said in
Jess
the
and
chat
My Foot is
why.
Pink. We love you.
Yeah, I have
Jiggle
to
just
Shout
say,
out.
said,
Jingle
Jiggle
Jess and
just
my
said the
friends
reason
pink.
why. Jiggle just answered historian's question, right? Earlier in the chat, he said, it's, oh, you didn't.
I can't scroll all the way up anymore, so I don't really know. I don't even know how much has been donated, but it's a lot of money. And I remember Casket once told me that, and this was like a week ago, that he said his lifetime earnings on YouTube was $950. And this is, from what I see, like over $30. It might even be more. That's a significant chunk of his lifetime earnings on YouTube just today.
Well, that shows that certain topics are more engaging with the audience, right?
That's
So,
We have a super chat here. Is Queso CK Piano?
Give me a second, guys. I'll be right back.
and then we go quiet. Who's to say? Not me.
I'm gonna plead the fifth. The
I
FIF,
think
the fifth.
I think oh, for a second there, I'm sorry, Casket's whole screen went black. So I didn't know what that was about. I've also noticed that Jeff had tried to fix your screen kind of flashing green sometimes,
Yeah,
but it
we thought we fixed it, but turns out we
it's
didn't.
right, it does still happen. So I, I don't know what the cause of that is.
Ah, we have no idea.
Also, to the chat, thank you for the topics that we've been talking about tonight. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have gotten on the religion aspect. If there's any other direction you'd like for us to discuss, leave it down below. You can
There is
navigate.
there's a funny chat by Jingle Jess that said, and I was sort of paying attention, but I was doing something else, but this, and I really didn't want to get involved with that love chat because I just felt like it was a whirlpool. And I feel like the casket verse can just be a whirlpool in general. And there was this one live stream where like maybe it wasn't even a live stream, but it was a call where a ton of people were in it. And I was saying this to, goodness gracious, what is his name? I can't, like, that
Jeff
Tetris.
Lennon.
No, Tetris something.
Oh,
But he's a
Tetris.
very old, yeah, to Tetris, and he's a very old fan. And I said, like, don't get involved with this. You don't want to get sucked into this whirlpool. And the only word I could use to describe this whole thing is a whirlpool because it certainly sucked me in. But Jingle Jess says, we need the historian in here. He's been in love. And I think it's interesting that he said that because, yeah, I don't know. I don't even
well,
know
the
that I have.
historian, you have chipped your way into a prime, like part of the casket verse. Like the audience knows you
Yeah,
and
man. You
appreciates
have
you.
fans.
I actually hate that fact, though. I like
My
that
mom
we can
knows
have
about
a
it.
I know. I remember that, Alice, for sure. For sure. I like that.
So
I
funny.
like the sort of interactions with the fans, but I hate the fact that, when you talk online, and I've tried to not be so involved with the live stream, particularly with the podcast, because I just feel like, gosh, people archive this stuff and it gets saved forever. And sometimes I say things that I'm just like, oh,
It
you're
doesn't.
such
But
an
but but
idiot.
but historian doesn't matter. We're all gonna die. We're just on a floating rock in space. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but we're gonna be alive for a little bit, and then we have jobs and spit
Oh,
and
and
other
what in a
things.
job and the meaning in the grand scheme of things, does that really matter?
When you're alive, it does to me, faux
I'm a
show.
floating piece of
Um,
dust on a rock, y'all.
Yeah, life doesn't matter, and yet at the same time it does. It's crazy.
but yeah, I
Like,
don't exactly remember what I was saying there. But in
okay.
general, I am glad for anyone who likes me. Certainly, I mean, sometimes the fans certainly are not big I mean, the viewers are not big historian fans, and that's tough as well. This is weird. Here's a comment that just came in. 89 Simba says, "Who is the alpha in this group?" I gotta say, Casket King. I mean, who could be higher than
No,
Casket?
come on, come on. That is, I
He's the
think.
top dog.
And the crowd goes
So
wild.
I don't think bro. I don't think Caskin could be the alpha when he'll like sit back and say nothing for an hour, right? As alphas assert their dominance based on that type of
right,
Hello,
thing.
but
I am the
isn't
alpha. I am having
Although,
the people under me talk for me and entertain the people for me.
but isn't
Dance,
and it's
monkey,
weird
dance.
Yes,
because
monkeys, dance!
and
yeah.
I
Also,
think
Casket's been very interactive tonight. Like he's spoken more tonight than he has in the past few
That's what I'm
podcasts, right?
saying. Well,
right, but
when we went to those topics that were like big ideas, like not like something really super detailed, like idea of love, right? Casket had a lot to say about that, which was awesome.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, Casket actually has opinions on this thing. This is actually really cool. And I think the audience also had that same reaction due to like the donos and their interaction. So I think maybe we should lean into that a little more to
Alright,
try to
so,
quote some more
okay,
with
let's
Casket.
lead into the next topic. Okay, so what is our next topic?
Our next topic is, well, we already talked about free will. So, Casket, how do you define good versus evil? What is good versus what is evil?
Good and evil. That's a good fucking question.
Right? Because it's like, hey, someone says something is evil, but it's evil to them. What's evil and good to you?
See, good and evil is very gray. It's all about perspective.
That's pretty profound. Can you elaborate, please?
Okay, let's see. All right, hold on. We got a super chat from Jiggle Jess. Look at the chat. He claims not to be him. Well, look.
Look, since you're so obsessed with this, I am definitely CK Piano. I'm glad that you can now sleep at night, Jiggle Jess. I don't know why you're so obsessed with that.
Damn, you got a straight up hater.
I think I don't know. Nothing will compare, Cressy, to when you sucked my dick that one night.
Don't worry, I put the expensive lipstick on that day.
The lip gloss burned, so don't wear that again, okay? Next time, don't wear that.
All right, so
Oh
anyway,
my
good and evil, gray, perspective. Just because something's good for you doesn't mean it's not bad for somebody else.
Mm.
Well, with
Yeah,
that in mind, then how
like a
can you point
spicy
at
food.
anything
It's
and
good
say it's
for your
bad?
mouth, but then it hurts in your ass.
That was like the most sexually profound thing I've heard. Thank you, Alice, for that. So yeah, good. So what's good to one person wouldn't be. So
Okay,
you
let
didn't
me
say.
give you a hypothetical. Let's say somehow they create clean energy, no more coal. Then all those people are going to lose their jobs. That's bad for them, but it's good for everybody else.
So then how do you define, like, how can you point at something and say that this is good or this is bad?
Okay, if it's good for literally everyone, then I assume it to be good. If it's bad for literally everyone, then I assume it to be bad.
Well, I can I can dispute that. You know, for
Okay,
example,
go right
Taco
ahead.
Bell. Taco Bell is really not good for anyone. But let me tell you what, a lot of people would say this is great, right?
That is true.
It's great. Can you do that? Can you do
Yeah,
that?
but there are also things that are universally like, yeah, this is evil, basically. This is bad.
I think we're going back to the idea of lived experiences dictates like who you are as a person. So, for
You may be
example,
correct.
for example, let's say that you were born in China, right?
Okay.
And in school, they, oftentimes teach that American ideologies are bad by nature. So if you were born in China, anything that American does is going to be perceived as bad due
Hold
to
on.
where you were born.
Can you
Krusty, I hate to cut you off, but we just got a $10
$10?
dono from Jingle Jack.
What? Give him a shout out. Read it.
Alright, to clear my name, Queso defended himself in the chat and insulted my intelligence as TKPN to prove he was right. He used Queso in the third person and clearly pretended not to be himself.
I'm so glad that tactic actually worked and you donated $10. Thank you very much, Jiggle Jess. We appreciate
Yeah.
your support.
I
don't know who
I
hey,
want to
Jingle
ask a
Jeff.
very. Okay,
Okay.
continue.
Why don't you join the Discord server and join the call, my man?
Oh, we'd
Yeah,
love to
Jiggle
have
Jess.
you.
Come on, let's discuss the idea about love in person with you in the server.
Oh yeah, I mean I'll step back and I will let you
Yeah,
and Queso
so will
go at it.
I.
Krusty, I don't know if you remember this, but if my memory serves correct here, Jingle Jess is a PhD in civil engineering as well.
You are correct. We were talking about that on a previous episode. Like this is a person who. So Jingle Jeff, we would love to have you on. You are welcome.
I wanted to ask a very important question. Do you guys think that there in the history since Taco Bell was founded, do you think more people have shot themselves their pants in a Taco Bell than there is humans alive right now?
I
That's
have
a
no
good
idea.
question.
I love Krusty. I love how you use Taco Bell as your example.
I would say more people have shit themselves at Taco Bell than there are people in Texas.
wait. I have a question. Can we rephrase that? Is it at Taco Bell? Because that makes me picture them shitting at Taco Bell, or
Yeah, you
because
have
of
to be
Taco
shitting
Bell?
at Taco Bell.
Yeah, you
What
have
about all
to
the?
shit
What
your
about?
pants at Taco Bell.
No, then I don't think so. Because
Bro.
Because what about the people who at home, get it delivered or drive through?
Yeah,
Can I
stay
say
away from Taco Bell bathrooms.
Yeah. Can I say something that might be a little? I don't even know what to put this, but people just a little mad in the chat and says dirty tactics, stinky cheese, baiting me to get to spend money on a tactic is foul. I will say this: when I saw a lot of people donating money in the chat, personally, I didn't want to say a half a sentence because it's Casket's money, and I don't want to take money out of Casket's mouth. But I felt like sometimes people would donate in order to get their thing read, and I thought, if we're not reading the chat, it doesn't have anything to do at all with. We always read the chat. If we're looking at the chat, it's not like you have to spend
That's not
money.
always true. That's not always true. There have been chats in the
Right?
past that have not been read.
Right, I know. But if I'm looking at the chat and I'm looking at it, I'll try to read it if there's a lull or whatever.
Yeah, but historian, you also make up shit that's not in the chat, right? So
right, but that's a joke.
Yeah, but what you think is a joke is like you do it for 10 minutes straight, and it's like, well, it's not much of a joke anymore by then.
Amanda Love has shown
that
up.
would be a
Amanda
criticism of my
Love.
joke. And Amanda
No,
Love's here now.
it would be not a criticism of the joke, but of the timing, right? Comedic timing.
Yeah, and that would be a criticism of a joke if it's about the comedic timing.
No,
but
that's not
a
necessarily true.
criticism of comedic timing is not a criticism of a joke.
I would argue that a joke can stand alone, but the comedic timing is another factor, right? When
All
you
right. Well,
deliver
that's
and when
not what
you
I'm
do a joke.
talking about.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Well, we'll have to agree to disagree because I think it is about a joke. But to jingle Jess, I would just say,
So you're not. I know.
well, I believe what I said, and you believe what you said, so we'll have to agree to disagree. But
But
to
then,
jingle
you don't.
Jess,
But then you don't have to like. So then, why do you then talk for 10 more minutes, right? If we agree to disagree, let's change the subject.
well, what? Do you want me to not talk? I'll leave. I don't know what.
Look, man, you always go to that extreme that I don't want you to talk, and that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying that I didn't like. You're not the professor, and I didn't come to class to be lectured, right?
Well,
For
you
10
didn't like
minutes.
that joke. I don't know what to tell you.
No, you weren't willing to explore deeper the difference between a joke and comedic timing. I said that the joke was good.
Guys, let's
right?
relax and take a breath.
Let's
Well, I
kiss
don't
each
know.
other.
I
Yes, let's
had something to
kiss.
say, but I don't know. I guess I'm wrong.
That's not a bad idea.
Dang.
Oh, we lost the historian.
Well, the historian's a child. I'm sorry. He behaves like a child.
Oh, come on, man.
What do you mean? He just behaved like a child. That's something a child would do. It's just a fact. Although I will counter myself that I've done the same thing. So maybe I've acted like a child before too.
Dang.
I personally
I'm not going to
think
sit here
that
when he
there-
rants for 20 minutes, right? It's just not. That's not how that's going to work.
And the drama
I don't know why.
continues.
Yeah, I just don't know why you guys are okay with that. Like, it's not normal. Like, when you interact with people, it's not normal for someone to talk for 10 minutes straight, right? It's just not normal when there's a group. I'm sorry, I won't stand for it.
I don't know, I'm used to it.
I know, but Casket, we talked about how what you see as normal is not normal because of your.
Who
sense of
here
money or
is
whatnot.
normal?
Good point.
You're right. Good point. Good point. I can't counter that.
The most normal
No.
out of all of us isn't even here. We're all a bunch of
Dewey Suya? Are you
weirdos.
talking about Dewey Suya?
We are
No,
definitely a
not
bunch of
Dewey
weirdos.
Suya. I'm talking about Jeff. He's the most normal out of all of us.
I would agree with that.
I don't know about that.
It's been a pretty good podcast today, guys. Great
Yeah,
interaction.
it's been
Can we count how
crazy.
much? Let me count 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. $24, Casket.
No, I've definitely made more than that. I've been keeping track. I think I've made like $40.
No,
Great.
I just counted it all up, so it's 20.
Well, that can go towards your sex doll, so.
Christy, stop.
you could still buy a life. You can now buy a life size. What was it? Gardevoir.
Oh god, yeah. You can buy me a life-size Gardevoir.
They have that for sale?
Yeah, the Pokemon
They
Show's
are-
about to start selling it. It's gonna be like $600.
How tall is the life size?
It's like 5 something.
What?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
life
it's pretty
size.
big.
$600 though, Jesus Christ. Can you imagine the box that's going to be shipped in?
It's not the kind of thing I'm gonna buy secondhand, that's for sure.
Mm-mm.
Secondhand? You said wait, you're not gonna buy it secondhand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Alright,
don't want to buy it secondhand, so you get it covered in glue.
Do you think that's really a good idea, like with your finances, given your behind-the-scenes situation?
We got a question here. Did you ever get recognized in real life, Casket? Yes,
Cresty,
I
have you
have.
noticed how
Several
Casket
times.
Cresty, do you notice how Casket does that? When you ask him a sensitive question, he deflects very well.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear the question. What was the question? I'll answer it.
No, go ahead and answer the commenter question first.
Well, I've been recognized 3 times in public.
Nice.
One time was at the flea market. One time was at Walmart, which was really cool because they bought me Pokemon. And then
I
there was
remember
a
that
third
story.
time.
The breaded guy.
What was your question again, Christy?
Do you really think spending $600 on a giant plushie is something you should consider given your current situation, like behind the scenes?
I mean, it's cheaper than the $2,000 sex doll.
But it's more expensive. $600 more expensive than not doing it.
That is true. That is true. That is true.
You have stumped me, Yuki. Your trap card has worked. So, Casket, tell me more. Like, let's talk about how huge of a month February is going to be for you.
Well, Valentine's Day is going to be a big day.
Why?
That's when we're going to find out if my lovely girlfriend Alice here gets to come to America.
America. I hope that works out. I genuinely do, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Alice, what are there any updates on your end with that office? I know it's back to being open, right?
Yeah, it was finally open in the 31st of January.
Well, hopefully it goes
Means
through.
that I wonder what happened to the people that were waiting for their thing. Supposedly they will just be given a new date, which personally that sucks ass. That means if they had like plane tickets, they have to name new ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is a situation. What else do you have going on this month, Casket?
Oh, Pokemon Day is coming. It's only 19 days away.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is talk more about Pokemon Day. Talk more about the Yu-Gi-Oh game, and then I have a huge announcement. Well, I don't want to hype it up too much, but good news in terms of a potential future guest on the podcast.
Oh my. Well, Pokemon
Even
Day is
Casket.
coming, so
Okay.
we're finally going to get news about Pokemon ZA, which they haven't put out any info since the one itty-bitty trailer they put out a year ago. And it's driving me fucking crazy!
Perfect short clip right there.
Oh God. What's that white stuff on the screen, Mom? Yeah. Okay. Wow, so that's gonna be big. And how are you gonna balance out Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon when they're both dropping on the same day?
Well, I doubt the game will be dropping on that day. I heard somewhere there's a rumor that it's going to get released in June, but who knows if that's true. But I'm gonna be watching Pokemon shit that whole day, but there is like a Yu-Gi-Oh collection coming out the same day that I'm excited for on Steam. It's all the original Game Boy games, including the old Japanese only ones.
Whoa.
Interesting.
But we still don't know. It's just crazy to me that we still don't know the price.
Yeah, they never put in a price. Also, one of the games is going to have an online functionality, and the rest of them will too in the future. They're working on online connectivity with them.
Yeah, speaking of video games, after I was on that podcast yesterday, someone
Wait. I don't want to pivot away from this. Hold that thought because I want to make sure that we flesh out this topic so I can cross off on the topic list. Casket, do you have anything more to say about Pokemon Day and the Yu-Gi-Oh collection?
No, I'm good.
I was going to say someone gifted me Minecraft, and they sent me a link to a screen reader a plugin that I can download and play Minecraft on my computer with my screen reader.
Oh, that's insane.
Wait, let's all play Minecraft.
Yeah, so I started messing with it for about 30 minutes today, and it looks like legitimately I can play Minecraft now. And the reason why they did that is because Lynx has a server, and they want me to be on there. But so I can actually play Minecraft now. So
Dude, that's fucking awesome.
yeah,
It'd be like the old days, man. We can play Minecraft again.
yeah. I'm pretty excited about it, honestly.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
Let's get
Casket, you know what they say about Minecraft YouTubers.
Oh, God, they either make a music career or they become pedophiles.
Yeah.
Alice. Have you played Minecraft before?
Yeah, I have. I actually have Minecraft, and I actually got Minecraft by getting one of my friends to buy a Minecraft like game card when you were able to do that.
Guys, we just hit the gold mine for podcast ideas.
This is going to be cool. I think that's definitely something we should do.
Yeah.
We should have a Casketking Minecraft server and let like people in the Discord come on.
I think we should hold off that idea until we like make sure that it's like we're playing right. Like let's start with
Yeah.
us and then let's invite others. But eventually down the line, I agree we should invite others.
You know what? I can make a realm. It's like $20 a year, though.
No big deal.
Yeah, if we pitch in, then it's nothing.
Oh, this is definitely. We should make this a series. I can see this happening.
I agree. Let's
And
let's
remember,
hey.
Casket, once you start playing Minecraft, you're not allowed 2 kilometers from a school.
I'm glad you have so much faith in me.
Someone does, right?
Oh.
Hmm.
I just find it so funny that it has happened so many times.
Whoa, this is weird.
What is it?
I'm getting a notification from a Discord server I'm in.
What server?
I don't want to say.
Is it the one that I'm into?
Oh, yeah.
Oh Lord, wait a second.
Ooh.
Cask, can you tell me more about this?
I don't know if
private
they're tagging everyone or if they're specifically tagging me.
It's got to be you because I didn't get a notification from the server.
Oh, why are they tagging just you?
Yeah. I mean,
Caskett.
without going into detail, can you say anything?
I can't look at it right now. It'll show on the screen. I'll have to check it after the podcast. Mystery alert!
Oh, I can't wait for after the podcast until we get this mystery solved.
Yeah, it's.
I would have gone away with it if it wasn't for you meddling kids.
I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids.
I would have gotten away with it if I didn't shit my pants.
Say goodbye to your Exodia, Yugi!
Joker, take that dildo out your ass.
No, Batman, it's mine! You can't tell me what to do with my butthole!
That's Harvey Dent's. Yours is still with the Penguin. Now give it to me.
No, this one belongs to Two-Face, but I'm not sure which face it belongs to.
Oh, God. No wonder it's a double dildo.
Double-ended. Oh, that's too funny.
So that's a peek into my one-on-ones with Casket. That's all we do is we're just like fucking.
Yeah, we do stupid.
And then we go. What is wrong with us?
Yeah, basically.
Like 5 times a day. It's fucking hilarious. Mental illness.
Clap.
So I want to. Can we explore this avenue together, Krusty, about like the Minecraft?
Oh yeah.
It's like let's talk about this. Like, so you said you tested it out. Does that mean like you could play anytime?
I mean, when I have availability, but yeah, like I downloaded the game. I went and I downloaded the extension for it, and I booted it up and I opened a world, and I mean, it was able to. The only thing I need to do is learn some of the key commands because some of the stuff has been changed when you use this to where, like, in order to do certain things, you have to know certain key commands. But when I downloaded the plugin, it also came with a instructional guide for key commands. So I mean, I'll need like I just got to go over that and learn the key commands, and I can absolutely play Minecraft.
Wait, but what if we did like an episode where we title it like Krusty learns? Do you think my question is, do you think you would learn quicker if we were in the game with you, helping you?
No, I need to spend a little time solo to, because once I know the key commands, I'll be able to go through it smoothly. It's
Alright,
really a
so
memorization thing at this
I
point.
think we're getting raided right
Fair
now,
enough.
possibly.
Why do you say that?
A lot of people in the chat are saying Lonely Girl TV said she liked me.
Lonely Girl TV. Tell Lonely Girl TV that Casket King says anytime.
So Casket, can I what's the right way to reveal my news for you?
Oh yeah, I was
For the
just about
whole
to
crew?
ask you about it actually.
Yeah, so you remember how I was having you react to Royce Miller's Pokemon videos, right?
Correct.
And I had noticed that Royce Miller, who has been growing his subscriber base steadily for months on end, has also into Pokemon, right? So I went to his past live stream and I said, hey, it would be cool if you and Casket King 00 collaborated on a video about Pokemon, like, because I feel like both of you guys know so much about it. I would love to hear that interaction, like, what's your favorite Pokemon, why, etc. And instead of saying, "Oh, I'm against. I don't know who this Casket King is. I don't want to do that. Like, that doesn't sound cool." He said, "Oh, I just don't know how like to set that up or how to collaborate with him." So it made me think of when Krusty reached out to like to Airsoft and that community, right? And I was wondering maybe if we reach out to Royce, we could have him as a guest for at least one episode, right? But that's Pokemon themed. But I don't. What do you think of that Casket?
I'd be down.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Also, I have to say in the chat that Lonely Girl TV said you gotta pull up in her stream to see if you are serious. Tell her I'm flattered, but I have a girlfriend. She's
But you guys
actually
do
right
have
here
a.
next to me. Hey, man.
Yeah, but you.
Yeah.
I think they're lying.
Lonely Girl TV.
Yeah, I looked them up. I'm pretty sure they're lying. It's okay. It's an OnlyFans model Casket.
That's hilarious.
It's funny that Smoke just
And I am a
exposed
porn
himself.
actress.
So
Yeah.
now we know what Smoke like watches and his type. Lonely Girl TV. Jiggle Jess is still here. Jiggle Jess, I hope you're no longer mad at me.
Let's be friends.
Why can't we be?
So the Pokemon and the Yu-Gi-Ohs. Casket, let's talk about every time there's a new Pokemon game, you go through stages. And I've witnessed this.
Wait, so Krusty, would you be willing to, before we move on, would you be willing to reach out to Royce Miller? See if he
Yeah.
would. Okay, let me send you his channel so that you can find. Like, I don't know how did you like? I don't know how you did pull the strings and whatnot. So that seems like your area, right?
Yeah, I got it. If you can send me a link, I can. I'll see if I can't
Okay.
get it set up.
Just so you know, background information about Royce. Royce is like very anxious about interacting with other humans. So don't try to be as chill about it and lean into Pokemon as much as you can.
Okay.
Because Casket would react to his videos and then like say like, yeah, he got a lot of things right, but he also got a couple of things wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Let me send it to you.
Appreciate it. Cool. So this will be another guest. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, currently he's been growing, so he just hit 7,000 subscribers himself. So he's gonna have a subscriber special.
Nice.
Perhaps we can get an episode.
Yeah. Kudos for
Sorry.
him. That's an achievement.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Krusty. Take it away.
I forgot what I was saying.
Sorry, man.
Oh no, yeah, the stages. Every time you buy a new Pokemon game, Casket, you go through like 5 stages.
I do.
And yeah, I've noticed this about you. Like every time there's a new Pokemon game, there's the hype level before the game comes out, right? You get the game, you play it for about 2 weeks, and then you get bored of it. Like, and I wonder, what are you going to do this time to prevent that from happening?
I don't know. We're gonna see what this generation's gimmick is, and I mean, to be fair, yeah, I get bored of it, but I still pick it up intermediately. I still do stuff with my Pokemon. I was playing just today.
Yeah, and last week you were playing as well at some point. But my thoughts
I hope
are,
that the new gimmick is better than last time.
Yeah, Fancy
It was
Hats
very
wasn't very
dull.
interesting.
Yeah.
that sounds kind of lame, yeah.
Essentially,
Although,
in the last generation, they gave like, oh, you can make any Pokemon any type by giving them a funny hat.
Funny
Basically,
hat.
yeah.
yeah.
Here's a funny hat.
Now you're a rock type.
Yeah.
Rock type Pikachu.
So no release date for the Switch 2 yet, Casket?
No, but I think there's a Nintendo Direct about it coming up.
If only we knew someone who worked at Nintendo.
Oh, my uncle.
Yeah.
No, we can't. We can't
The
talk
worst
to you.
Nintendo.
I wish Equal Threes would come back. That was like an event week. Every time an Equal Three would come up, that whole week I was all about it. Like a holiday. Those were good times. Mm. Well, I mean, I think we've covered a lot of stuff on this episode. Shall we call it here?
How are we doing with
Yeah,
time? It's not.
we have been going for 2 hours.
All right.
Well, wait.
then
Let's see. Jiggle Jess, are you available to join before we close the? Because you have lots of fighting words, but I fear that you might be not up to the task of joining the Discord like you have in the past. Come on.
I would love for you and Queso to go back and forth.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Come on, and you don't have to worry about it being live streamed. It'd be off live stream unless you want it on live stream. Let me know. I'm here.
Jiggle Jess says, Queso's bullying me in the chat. Goodbye.
Appreciate your support, Jiggle Jess. Thank you.
Oh, man, we're gonna miss Jiggle Jess.
Jiggle Jeff.
I missed him
That is
already.
that name makes me smile though. It makes me think of Jigglypuff for some reason.
I always
You know what's
think
great?
of the jiggling hillbilly from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Wait,
Yeah.
Kate, Casket. I think can't believe that you made this so much money today.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
One. Wait. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't even. So like nearly all the chats I've been looking at, all the super chats have to do with me.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck, bro? But we appreciate your support.
Yep. Hate, man. Jiggle Jeff had a hate boner tonight.
Look, man, we've invited him on to defend his grounds, and he.
Well, maybe this will be a continuation thing
Oh my
where
god, I've made nearly $60.
Night.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Wow.
when I scroll, God, wow. So when you scroll back, it doesn't scroll all the way back, right?
No, for me, I'm looking at the mini feed. It keeps track of all the donations.
Or just tonight, right?
Yeah. I just want to thank everybody for the donation. Seriously, thank you so much. With this, I should be able to get paid next month. I am so grateful.
yeah, we
This is
honestly
historic
we do
night, then.
appreciate the chat.
Wait, that's because this is the most you've ever made in one night.
Yes. Vlad says, I don't have any super chats, but I am a super chap. Right on, man.
Right on, super chat. And we hope to see you guys here next week for the Casket Crew podcast.
Yeah, Casketking Crew podcast every Saturday at 7 Eastern Standard Time.
Oh. Question for Krusty: how long do you think it will take for you to get the action for the Minecraft? Do you think it'll be ready in time for next week's podcast episode? I know you're busy. I know
maybe. I can't. I don't want to give a definite answer right now.
Gotcha. Let us know, because that
I've got a message here from
February
Kicked in the
is
next
this is the
week.
busiest month of the semester. Things are going to get easier in March. I've got 4 papers and 2 presentations I have to give in the next 3 weeks.
Okay,
So
yeah,
it's
there's a lot.
yeah. So
There's a lot. I
February is
remember
packed.
you broke it down at the end. What were you gonna say, Casket?
We've got a message here from Kicked in the next week. Casketking, do you remember me? Been a few years. I vaguely remember the screen name. I do.
Wow.
Anyone who's not a member of the Discord, feel free to join. We would love to have you. Grow the
Yeah.
community.
I have not heard back from Jiggle Jess, so I assume.
And if you're not
Share
subscribed,
the-
think about it.
Yeah, if you haven't subscribed, maybe do so. Or not. It's up to you.
Yeah. Well, unless free will doesn't exist, in which case it's never been up to you.
Yes, it's been predetermined that you will or will not subscribe.
Universe has decided the atoms were aligned.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I guess we're good for this
From the moment
episode.
you were born, you
Thank you
were
for joining
always
us, guys.
destined.
We appreciate you, and we are looking really forward to next week's episode. I feel like episode per episode we've been growing.
Oh, wait a second. Kicked in the next week says, I ain't Discord, back from the Skype days.
Oh shit.
Okay,
Damn, that's OG.
maybe I don't remember you.
Skype days.
I was thinking. What was I thinking?
That had to have been like me. I used to be on Skype with you back in the day.
2014.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah. Wow.
Wait, so I have a question then. Kicked into the next week. What this just popped on your feed, or?
Yeah, how do we know each other? I'm very confused. I thought I knew you from Twitch.
The plot thickens.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. Well, if we're going to continue for a few more minutes, then we should probably keep talking.
No.
Yeah,
you have
so
some-
I want to thank everybody for being here, really.
Yeah, I like this podcast genuinely. I think it's fun to just sit back, chill, and just enjoy the conversation, the natural flow.
Yeah, I agree. I think sometimes we really have some really deep and awesome conversations.
Yeah.
Can you read the comment from most recent comment from Mr. Ted the Frog?
You know what? I love that screen name, Mr. Ted the Frog. I love your screen name. He says, "Bring back historian."
Historian, come back to us. Oh man, if you weren't here earlier, Ted the Frog, you missed some of the drama.
Okay, Kicked in the next week says, been a subscriber for years, but didn't realize you did lives. Buddy, who also was from our Skype days, told me y'all live stream now. Well, if you ever want to get reconnected, I'm on Discord now. Shoot me a line.
Yeah. That was back when we used to play League of Legends religiously.
Yeah. We play that game for 20 hours a day.
Yep. That was our life back then.
I can't tell you how many times I nearly pissed myself because it's like, dude, we're 2 hours into this game and I haven't pissed in 3.
Yeah. Some of those matches would go on for hours. They were either really short or just ungodly long. There was not really much in between.
Wow.
But yeah, there were some of them. We would literally be in the matches for 2-3+ hours.
Let's see, Casket. Back in the day, you told me you were going to start a new internet trend where you threw salami at walls. Do you remember? No, I don't remember that at all.
That does sound like something that you would do, though.
Yeah, that does
Yeah,
sound like
it
something
does.
I would do.
About to take a hit. Another thing that Casket would do. Take it.
Yep.
You know what? I've got a great idea for a new internet trend.
Yeah.
Stapling pepperonis to things.
Find a bald
Okay.
person's head. You find a bald person's head, and you just staple a pepperoni on the back.
Look, I'm like walls, flagpoles, pizzas,
T-shirts.
tables, t-shirts. Sure, why not? I could sell a t-shirt with a pepperoni on it.
And yeah, see that too.
It'll be a game. You have to search for the pepperonis out in the world.
And you told me
Casket.
about a manga about a vampire. Do you remember your vampire? Okay, this is getting really into old lore. Yeah, I
Wow. Yeah,
remember.
that's
I
super
was
old.
writing a story about vampires. I was writing my own manga.
I
Wow.
remember that. That is OG. OG. This guy is legit OG. Wow.
What is Storm Trump?
Oh, seriously, hit me up on Discord. I'd love to. I want to know what you know about my past because I'm curious.
Yeah, that's a deep cut that I'm sure the historian doesn't even know about.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I bet he'd love to meet you.
Yeah, kicks into next week. Please, if you're available, please come
Yeah,
join the
please,
Discord.
please come join us anytime. Come join us in the Discord. Um,
Can we drop a link?
Queso, grab me a link for the Discord so I can put it in chat.
Um,
I'm in streamer mode, so I can't do it.
This is great.
Post it in Casket's room.
That is awesome. We
Posting
found
right
an
now.
OG.
Yes, this is gonna like. I want to hear more of this Casket lore, the vampires.
Yeah. I haven't heard about that story in God, well over a decade.
Beautiful.
Yeah, this is great.
All
Oh,
right,
I am the.
I am
Did you see?
posting a link to the Discord. Please feel free to
Wait a
join.
second. Krusty, do you want to hear what Kicked Into the Next Week just wrote?
What's that?
Me versus Historian. I am the true historian.
Oh, that's an
That is,
episode.
that's fighting words, man. If you join the Discord, you're gonna have to work that out with the historian, because that's not something that I can speak to.
I want that live on air. That is an episode right there.
Let me write that down.
That would be a great episode. A good segment.
Wait, we have multiple ideas here. Minecraft, eventually, no rush, but that would be great when we start that series. Minecraft.
Oh, I'm excited for
everyone.
that.
And I think that opens up avenues to like other games down the line, right? If you can play Minecraft.
Yeah, I was looking online. There's a few games that have that capability as well with the
I
screen
bet
reader.
Terraria does. You used to like that game.
Yeah, there's a couple of other ones too. I'll have to go through the list and see what they are.
Nope.
Well, I'm glad you found this, man. It'll give you something to do.
Welcome.
You know, at first I thought this was that one chick that showed you her tits.
You know, the thing is, I could really see Kicking Into Next Week eventually becoming a mod as well if he truly knows that deep Casket lore, you know.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
This
they
is
must if they remember my old fucking manga I was writing.
Yeah, that should be like a. That's like a.
I actually okay. Wait. I actually have a piece of art on my desktop. How do I? Okay, how do I? Hold on. Hold on. Let me open this. Okay, so that can't be seen. Okay, so I can look for it. Okay, desktop. Ah, here it is.
This was in 2016. That's it.
That was definitely, gosh, 2016. I remember that year well. I was at the School for the Blind at that time.
Wait, who drew this? You drew this, Casket?
No, a friend of mine drew this.
Oh. And you gave him your idea, right? A vision.
Yeah.
I like it. What's that in the upper right-hand corner? It's like it looks like and then a sea anemone with spikes on top of it.
I'm
Like
not sure
cucumber.
what it is.
Like a flying cucumber.
Flying cucumber. I like that.
Like the great, the flying spaghetti monster.
I also have one other I can post.
Do it. These are historical images. They
Oh
must
yeah,
be shown.
kicked into next week says and claims I got the art to Casket. I wonder. I've only seen Ted the Frog join the Discord though, so kicked next week. Yes, you are Ted the Frog. Interesting head tilt. Standing, he's wearing like a thing. So does this he's like, does the coat, I can't tell if the coat is like he used to go down on his arms or if that's just his bare skin. Or
Oh, that's
different,
just his bare skin.
it's just like shoulder and then you have straps and
Yeah.
like the belt design. Yeah, I would be really intrigued to see how they
You
would
can see
color that.
early influences of my old logo in the design.
Yeah, Casket, what you should do is you should take these and you should transfer them to MS Paint or another application and then fill in the colors that you want.
Oh, I should totally do that.
That would be a good live stream idea.
God, I've done that before. I have to go pixel by pixel.
I am curious though. What's the next movie night movie?
I'm thinking either the original Dawn of the Dead or the 2004 remake.
I like the 2004 remake better. I
All right,
dig that
that's
one.
one vote for the 2004 remake.
Are we ever going to do a comedy?
Eventually, yeah.
Oh God, eventually. We're never going to do a comedy, are we?
What would be what comedy movie would you want to watch?
Amanda Love says, I could do some art for you, Casket. I would love that. I absolutely love fan art.
Awesome.
Oh, and oh wait, actually I can't share that, but
Oh, yeah, question. What was your question?
I don't know.
Oh, shit.
It's all good. But yeah, that's cool. So Wednesday will be movie night, right?
Yes, every Wednesday is going to be movie night.
I will be available this Wednesday, so
All right, cool.
I'll be there for movie night.
yeah, last movie night went well, I would say.
Yeah.
Even though
Too
the movie
bad we
was a
won't
bit
be
of
able to
a
live stream this one.
That's true. Will it at least be recorded so Jeff can edit it? Do you know?
I mean, I can record it.
I think that's never a bad idea, just in case, like, because you never know when you're gonna have a great clippable moment.
Yeah.
Possible, record as much as you can.
Yeah, I've got questions, but I can't ask them on stream because they're about that thing we can't talk about on stream yet.
But soon we will.
Yeah, it's pretty major, guys. Legitimately.
Well, Casket, do you have any parting words for the viewers as we sign off?
Well, I want to thank everybody for being here. We constantly had like at least 5 viewers So that was amazing. Thank you guys. Thank you for the donations, Jiggle Jess and My Floor is Pink. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Kick to the next week. Hit me up sometime. And yeah, those are my part words. How about you guys?
Goodbye.
I would say thanks for being here. Thanks for being a fan of Caskets and the crews and the Casket crew. Jiggle Jess, my offer still stands. We can even, and I'm saying this as an admin, we can even create an entire podcast episode set up just like we hyped up the great AI debate. We can hype up another discussion or debate if we want a strict format or whatnot. So if you're still listening, we would love to have you on.
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry if for some mean things I said. I apologize.
Well, alright, that's going to be it from us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying. And we'll see you
Bye.
in the next video.
Bye.